All right. What is up? What is up, everybody? Decided to stream. I'm bored. I got back a little earlier from my exploration than I had anticipated. So we got some stuff to catch up on. I mean, I see Yesavage is pitching really well. Might want to watch that. Obviously, I want to catch up on Nolan McLean from yesterday and a couple other things. If you don't know, I am in Birmingham, Alabama. I'm so Bama down here. And I went and had a fantastic little sandwich today from this spot, the Garage Cafe. Probably a top 10 ever sandwich that I've had. Just they basically have a bunch of things that you can choose from. I sat at the bar, had a pastrami with on a hoagie with lettuce, tomato, spicy mustard, banana peppers. Fantastic, with some chips. And then I went to 2 coffee places. If you're looking on my thing here, these are the 2 that I hit today. June Coffee was, I thought, the superior of the 2. The other one was Punch Love Coffee. Punch Love Coffee was like more talked about on Reddit, so I went there first. It was okay. Didn't love the coffee itself. The vibe was cool, though. June Coffee I thought was great, enough where I bought some more beans, so I got some artifacts to bring home. Anyway, I hope you guys are great. Kind of a random little afternoon stream here. I might go for a bit. I don't have to be on any bus for another, 3.5 hours. So, I just saw that sucks for Yesavage in the Discord. That makes me think something bad must have happened. Hope everybody's good. What's up, Dynamo? Let's do this. Hit that like button when you're in here. Join the Discord. Ohtani might be washed in the 67 innings prior to his last 2 starts. 6 earned run the last 2 starts. 7 earnings. Fairly sure the finger's bugging him. Fairly sure that is the case. I think that you can just tell in the usage a little bit. Are you doing a baseball game on Sunday night? No, I wish I was. I don't have a game for a little bit on NBC. Next NBC assignment I actually have is I'm in the booth for Twins Yankees from Yankee Stadium on July 5th. But I have some ESPN stuff coming up soon. I think I have 4 ESPN booth games already scheduled in pretty early July, including the 1st. So we're getting close to that. I'm here for the East-West Classic, so I'm supposed to pitch tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. Down here at Rickwood Field, gonna get some good photographs, hopefully, and have a good time with some of the boys that are out here. All right. What did just happen? Let's find out. I was messing around with the scoreboard from 3-3. Holy shnikes. Red Sox with a little comeback piece just now. On Yesavage in the 8th inning, it looks like. 1 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th. So we'll watch this outing thoroughly here in a little bit. I'm probably going to start with McLean from yesterday because I'm very confused. Have you heard of this place called Starbucks? Yes, and I will go there. I mean, I even had a Starbucks today in the airport. But in general, I try to look for the coffee shops, see what they have going on for my coffee shop world tour. I wish I started doing this with the pins since Pro Ball. I mean, it would be extensive. The whole country, out of the country, it would be extensive. So we'll see how far we can get doing that. Also watching World Cup right now. We got Bosnia and Switzerland. How's the arm feeling? I actually don't even know. And it doesn't really matter. I'm not even that stressed about it. It'll be what it'll be. If I throw 80 right down the middle, I throw 80 right down the middle. Granted, pretty good hitters in this East-West Classic. Have you guys seen the rosters of this thing that I'm about to play in? Let me go over the rosters real quick. If you have not seen them of this thing tomorrow. So here's the East roster. I'm on the West somehow. I don't know how the East-West is determined. But here's the roster, and a lot of these guys absolutely raked. Pedro Alvarez, who I saw on the plane today, that's my guy from back in the day. Josh Barfield, Lewis Brinson, Rajai Davis. If he can hit Chapman's fastball, he certainly can hit mine. Ben Francisco, Shane Green, Jeremy Guthrie, Jerry Hairston, Aaron Hicks, Edwin Jackson, Micah Johnson, Xavier Scruggs, Gary Sheffield, Tony Sipp, Justin Upton, and Chris Young. Then in the West, we're rocking with Dellin, Gregor Blanco, Mike Cameron, Jose Contreras, Prince Fielder, Scott Hairston, Orlando Hudson, the O-Dog, Scott Kazmir, Matt Kemp, Jason Kendall, Miguel Montero, myself. Terrible picture of me. Big C, Denard Span, Nick Swisher, BJ Upton, Brandon Watson, and Jemiah Weeks. So a lot of good baseball players here. Many of whom have gotten hits off me. So anyway, that's going to be interesting for tomorrow. All right. Yeah, Matt Kemp. He did homer off me. I struck him out. The whole gambit. The true MVP. Yeah, Ryan Braun. He robbed him. All right, should we go over the standings real quick? All right, here's where we sit Thursday, June 18th, and then we'll get into some baseball watching. Jerry Hairston works for Sportsnet LA. Seems like a great dude. A lot of great dudes in this group, for sure. All right, here's the standings. Yankees have won 4 in a row, 45-27. They're now 3.5 up on the Rays. It's their starting pitching, man. And you know what? Paul Goldschmidt, reborn as of late. Blue Jays still 2 under. If they win this game, they can get to 1 under. Red Sox still toiling. Saw Kyle Boddy left the organization. Thought that was interesting. Definitely interesting for me. AL Central, White Sox, Guardians tied at the top. AL West, Mariners, 1.5 up. They lost last night. Kyle Bradish threw a gem. 13 punchies. A's, 1.5. Texas, 2. Houston, 3.5. That's very jumbled. NL East, Braves have lost 3 in a row. You're starting to see a slight crack in the starting pitching there. Phillies, 6.5 back and creeping. Washington, 8 back. It's unbelievable how many runs they have. 407 runs this year for the Nats, and they're really good on the road. 23-14 on the road. Can you believe that? Mets got a win yesterday on the back of McLean. Now they play the Phillies. So I don't know. We kind of owned the Phillies a little bit when I was on the Mets, to tell you the truth. Yeah, of course you're going to lose some games, but I felt like overall we had the upper hand, despite them being the division winners a few times, or higher seed, whatever. Brewers, 5.5 up on the Cardinals. Brewers are absolutely rolling. I know Quinn Priester just getting rib surgery. That's not great, but yeah, they're still chugging along. Pirates, the Reds, both not playing as good as they would hope. In the West, Dodgers 48-27, best team in Major League Baseball, 9 games up on the Padres, 9.5 on the Diamondbacks, and they are absolutely cruising in the NL West. So that's that. Here are a coffee cup winners from yesterday. Kyle Stowers, 4 for 5, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. Ryan O'Hearn, 3 for 5, 6 RBIs and a homer. Colson Montgomery, 2 homer games. Sterling Thompson, 2 home run game. How many 4-hit games we got? 2 4-hit games. Carter Jensen, Kyle Stowers, Bo Bichette. Don't look now. He's pretty dang hot right now, Bo Bichette. In the win probability, Stowers, Freeman, and Bellinger. Pitchers, Bradish. This is what I was talking about. 12 Ks. I was wrong about the 13, but 7 2/3, 12 Ks. Versus the Mariners. And then Nolan McLean, who I think I'm going to watch right off the rip here. 7 innings, 9 Ks, 1 walk, 3 hits. Erod, Eduardo Rodriguez, congrats to my former teammate. 100th career win last night for the Diamondbacks. WPAs for the pitchers. Robbie Ray, 6 1/3, no runs against the Braves. Peter Lambert, 7 innings, 1 run versus Houston, and Kyle Bradish. Top 100 prospect check-in. Joe Mack, that's at the big league level. So we got a 3 for 3 home run night from Raniel Rodriguez that we've seen him, that little short catcher from the Cardinals. Guy Rakes. Johnny Farmello, have not seen him play baseball yet. Theo Gillen, Jet Williams. Iva Arquette was one of my favorites in the draft. Ike Irish, what a name. The pitchers all did bad. I was looking at this earlier. J.R. Ritchie in his start in the big leagues, 5-5. Durangelo, 4 2/3 and 5 in Double-A. Cam Caminiti threw okay. He might get traded. We were joking about that in the Discord. River Ryan had a really tough go. We've heard a lot of clamoring for him on the stream. 4 1/3, 8 earnies, 10 hits. Brody Hopkins, 3 2/3, 7 earnies in AAA for Durham. As for the NCAA tournament, there were some fun games last night. UNC taking down West Virginia. Gavin Gallagher, 4 for 5. 4 RBIs. And then Oklahoma beating Georgia. Georgia kind of self-destructed in that game. Desan Harris, 2 for 5 with 5 RBIs. Trey Gamble on the mound. Anybody pitch really good on the mound? Nick Weslowski from Oklahoma, 5 2/3, 1 run. Not a lot of long outings come College World Series time. So anyway, that's it. Let me hop into the chat for a minute, and then we'll go from there. Did you watch the parade? No, I was a little disappointed to hear that the access was tough. But I did think Jalen's. I saw some of it. Who am I kidding? I saw some of it on social media. You can't miss it if you follow Nick's stuff and you're in the algorithm. So I saw Brunson's speech. I thought that was on brand and solid. Looks like Josh was having a good time. The mayor was doing the lean back with Kat, but I don't have any sense of the vibes. I'll probably watch some street YouTube content later. For sure. Why was Crochet struggling? Well, I guess apparently because he was injured. For a while, I thought he wasn't injured, and it looked to me like maybe it was just like more of a fatigue thing off of the big workload, but fully injured, so not great. Atlanta is skidding. I'm telling you, the second half fall off will be exponential. You might be right, Spec. Driveline guys must have aspirations to take over the world, not just baseball. There's some tweets out there that I was reading earlier about this. I don't have a dog in the fight, really. I will say, Driveline, I remain slightly connected to them because I went one time for a week, and I read their book, and I acknowledge their place in baseball history now. But in terms of like the individuals, like Kyle, I mean, outside of a few handshakes, I don't know. Didn't get a great read on him. Can you look at Lewis Varland's outing last night? He dominated again. You bet I can. You bet I can. It was the ballpark you play tomorrow, a home run ballpark like the Las Vegas one. I don't think so, no. Yeah, I fixed my code. I fixed my code last night. Well, we have oh, that's the same. Don't worry. Lewis Varland, yes. I would like to look at him. I know, I just kind of made it happen right now. One pitch from an immaculate inning for Varland. Yeah. All right. So since that's short, maybe we'll start with Louis V. Louis Varland. Guy's a beast. We noticed that he's got some serious angle on his shit now that we've watched him from the Red Sox mound. So he bounced back with a tremendous outing back to back here after the 2-run home run to Goldie the other day last night. So he's gotten 6 strikeouts in his last 2 outings. And he's at a .9 ERA still. Not too shabby. So Red Sox, Jays from last night. Lewis Varland. See, I'm a man of the people. You tell me what to look at. I'm going to want to look at it. If it's compelling, I'm in. All right. 10 pitches, 3 strikeouts. You're correct. 1 pitch away from the immaculate inning piece. All right, first batter, Cedon Rafaela, 99 miles per hour. He's going to start this at bat. Taken all the way. That's humming in there. Another 99 here. Fenway, been blessed with some European soccer fans this whole week. The Scotland fans, what do they call them? The Tartan Army. They're freaking awesome. And looks like we have some Norwegian fans there or something maybe. Anyway, this is another screaming heater up and away. He's super late at that. So fastball, and fastball. Here's a 99.6. And that's just Cedon not being able to stop swinging. Got him into swing mode. Chased 2 pitches way above the zone here. This is unhittable. Up and in. Yeah, you're out. Next. All right. Wilyer Abreu, first pitch, curveball, back door, goes after it. Maybe he was looking for it. I don't know. Fouls it off. Now to 100.8. I knew Varland threw hard, but like this year, I feel like he's been consistently up there. I mean, at times jumping to 101. I mean, that's middle, but 101. All right, another heater here. Oh, they're rowing the boat. Wow, that's a scary pitch with some serious angle on it. I mean, look at the release, and then it comes across right in there. You want to dive because the first two pitches were kind of middle or away, and then that one says, no, sir, there will be no diving. All right, so there's the one ball. All right, so the next four pitches will be strikes. Change up off that fastball in. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, now he can't dive. You see how it all works together? He kind of discourages the dive, and then watch the right foot now of Abreu. Wide open. In the bucket. He stepped in the bucket, and then you can't reach away. Dirty pitch. Perfect location. Perfect execution of a sequence there. Nasty. All right, 3-pitch punchy to finish it.
Looked to hold up, but he went strike one.
Slider, check swing. I don't know. Did he go? Did he not go? Timeout. Did he go? Because Contreras doesn't think he went. Let's see. Honestly, I don't know. That's pretty borderline to me. Either way, 0-1. And now we're going to double up on the slider. Pretty hittable, but stayed up on him, and it's fast. And then 100 to end the game. That was just overpowering. As soon as you get ahead in the count, they're kind of cooked. And, yeah, if you're under a high slider, what are you going to do on a high heater? You're going to be a day late and $1 short. Louis Varland's really good, and he is in flow state this season. You can just tell he's comfortable. He's not hesitating at all. And he's clicking on all cylinders. He's in the midst of what is probably the career year. So we'll see. If you have more than one of these, you're pretty damn good. Nasty. All right, back to the chat. Back to the chat. Fisher, yeah, I saw this. Fisher, first at bat in Double-A, bomb. I saw that. He's so good. Ayo, hearing from sources that after talking to the Miz on mechanics, you're projected to pump 105 tomorrow. Can you confirm? I like the thought, Neil, but no. I will not confirm that. There's no way. Hey, Ayo, any thoughts on the new draft proposal? Seems like another way for owners to cut costs. I would encourage everyone to not really worry about the proposals you're hearing right now because they're obviously on the extreme ends of the spectrum. I totally understand the idea behind this. Number one, it's why would we pay to develop long shot prospects like younger players when the colleges can do it for us and help weed out our talent pool, and then we'll shrink the overall spend on the minor league side, and guys will come up quicker. And on top of that, with the NIL system, I mean, I get where they're coming from, and obviously this is something that the players weren't even thinking about going into this negotiation. Probably as international draft. I mean, it's always a factor, but you're thinking of the larger economic picture. That's something else you're going to have to fight against. But my point is like these early proposals sometimes are so far-ranging that this is why everything gets grind to a halt. You know, it's just so much going on. All right, what else we got? Do you think Rhett Lauder will ever be great? I was a big fan of him at Wake. Admittedly, I haven't watched him as much this year. Not blessed with great velocity, but does have great pitchability. I'd have to watch him more to answer your question accurately. Favorites for Skubal. Favorites for Skubal. I mean, pretty much every team's thinks they have a shot will want to upgrade their starting rotation outside of maybe the Yankees or maybe the Mariners, you know, if they feel comfortable. You know, maybe the Dodgers, but those things could all change. I think certainly if the Cubs could get back into it, they'd be interesting. Brewers, you pair him and Miz. You think about the pairings like Sale and Skubal with the Braves, or Miz and Skubal. Wow. Or, there's a lot of fits, but somebody's going to have to drop a pretty hefty load to get him. Colleges can play players now. I see no reason why MLB shouldn't have a draft and stash, a la hockey. Draft and retain the rights. I've never really thought about that because we've never really had that system, but I hear you. Do you think we can still expect some reduction in draft rounds, but not as extreme as proposed, like reduced from 16 instead of 12? Yeah, and I get it. I get it from both sides. I mean, look, I was a 30th round draft pick in high school, and then later I was a first round draft pick in at a college. And I don't know. I think maybe you hear of the success stories of the late round draft pick that blossoms, or just the idea that everybody's got a chance that walks through that door, and then you get deep within organizations sometimes, and you realize not everybody has a chance. A lot of guys there just fill in roster spots, and they're not ever really going to be in the plans. And so then you start to think, why do we have all these draft picks? Why do we have so much minor leagues? And I love it. I love the meritocracy nature of it in theory, but you understand from the they're going to want to contract that, and they'll feel like nobody will ever notice the difference. And with these colleges throwing so much money at the players and the organizations, why not have them do their player development for them and build the hype machine and the personalities for them? Now that, again, try to make it more like the other sports. I don't know why you want to be like the other sports, but I get what they're thinking from a business standpoint, and I get why the players would want to resist it. But then again, if you're already a major leaguer, why are you caring about the draft? There's so many things. The more passionate people are the ones about the Latin American situation, because that is very unique in and of itself. The international process, and it can be very corrupt, and it can be very, but throwing a draft on it is very restrictive too. So I think there's a lot more passion there, and to me that might be the bigger issue. But the whole thing is crazy. I mean, this is also part of it too, Carl. Get to arbitration later too. There's less super young players maybe in the big leagues if you're not signing high school guys and 16-year-olds. So yeah, in theory, then potentially some less electric 20-year-olds. But I don't know. We've seen some. It's crazy. We've seen guys go college route lately and still get to the big leagues at an extremely young age. I don't know. It's wild. What's up, Gyro? Appreciate you being here. There's space for other pro leagues to expand if there are fewer. That's also true. I mean, look, this is all a very complicated thing, But, the Mexican League has been greatly improved with the contraction of the American minor leagues, as well as indie ball, the quality of those leagues, Korea, etc. I mean, we're not doing much, but I'm answering a few questions. I do think it's time for Nolan McLean time, though. All right. So this was an interesting start yesterday. By all accounts, did I watch it? No. But that's because I have the show. So it's so tempting sometimes to just not watch something and then hop into it later. So that's kind of where I landed on this one. I could have easily went through this game last night on my own, but I want to see it fresh. And I was watching other things, World Cup and some of the Yankees, I guess. Oh no, they didn't. Yeah, some of the Yankees. All right, Nolan McLean, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, not earned, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. So this was kind of the context heading into this game. This is his best start in a while. He's made 15 starts on the season now. Here are his previous starts, and especially the last 3 are good, but all with the caveat of too many walks. So I've been on the train of saying I don't think this guy has being a too nasty problem. I don't see that as an issue. I just think at times he's had trouble getting in the right lanes. He's done some lane switching on the rubber this year. Maybe that's thrown off his command a little bit with the breaking pitches. And his mix has continued to morph week to week. So I'm curious what version comes out today. So yeah, he had the disastrous start versus this red team at home on the 25th of May, gave up 7 earnies. And that was coming off of a 6 earney game versus Washington. That was rock bottom. Then 5 innings, 1 run, but with 5 walks versus the Marlins. 6 innings, 1 run with 3 walks versus the Padres. 4 innings, 2 runs, 4 walks versus the Braves, and that leads us into this start versus the Cincinnati Reds. So let's check out the player breakdown. The word is that he threw a lot of 4-seamers, and that's what it's looking like here. Although somewhat of a continuation of a trend with a little bit less breaking ball leading and more being secondary. I don't know. 27 fastballs, 26 sinkers, 15 cutters, 15 sweepers, 9 curveballs, 6 changeups, and 3 sliders. That's a lot of different pitch types. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pitch types. Velocity was strong. 96 on the heater, 95 on the sinker. Whiff was really good on the 4-seam. 5 of 11 on the 4-seam. So perhaps some elevated 4-seams with 2 strikes, I would imagine. Curveball also did very well in the whiff department. 3 of 7. Let's look at zone rates because that's been a story. 20% zone on sweeper. So that's where we've been seeing low numbers so far this year is low zone rate on sweeper and curveball. 33% on curveball, 20 on sweeper, so that tracks. And way too high of a zone rate on fastballs only. So 52 on 4, 62 on sinker. So it's more of the same, not really hitting as much with the others unless he's trying to induce chase, where you can see in the curveball department that worked, 67% chase. So I guess that's why you watch it, to gain context over this. 59% first pitch strikes, good, not great. Anything with movement? Sweeper had a little less movement in this one with more velocity. Everything else looks okay. All right, so this was Reds Mets from the flat mound in Cincinnati. Mets needed a win, lost the first 2 games of the series. They turned to the young ace. All right. Here we go. Nolan McLean, best start in a while. 96-8 up in the zone. Let's note right away he's on third base side of the rubber, throwing what appears to be slightly crossfire, even to the lefties. Let's see if he sticks over there the whole time or not. This is actually very to the right. He's got his toe completely off the rubber, and then that's crossbody. Hand over here. I bet the VAA here is close to 99th percentile. Very similar to Will Warren's, the HAA, horizontal approach angle. So anyway, fastball 4-seam away, pulled, and that's 1 out. All right, second batter here. JJ Bleday, who's killed the Mets. 86 mile-an-hour backdoor sweeper called strike.
One of his 13 home runs this series and 4 of his 34 RBIs. That day,
here's a 95 mile-an-hour cutter. Okay, a little backup action, but yeah. And now to the curveball 1-2. Pulled foul as that kind of swept across the zone, and now changeup. Kind of left it up, but mishits it out to center, and Soto is there, 2 outs. All right, here's Sal Stewart. Still on that third base side, so far hasn't moved at all. 98 up top, 86 sweeper coming here. Misses with it in. Now he's going to try to fix that. And then overcooks it. So you would stand on this part of the rubber if you're having trouble throwing sweepers for strikes, because it gives you so much room to work with going right to left. Like, you just basically start it somewhere in here and you'd think it's going to end up in the zone. But what he just did was he kind of came around the first one and like left it soft, and then he tried to get his hand out and he dragged it all the way over here. But I still think you should be able to throw more strikes from this spot with this pitch than if you're on the other side. But anyway, he doesn't on either of those two. All right, 2-1, here comes a sinker. So 4-seam, sweeper, sinker. That's way in, 3-1. Back to the 4, challenge him. Beats him at the top of the zone. Very precise so far up, and then he's going to throw it up again. Very precise uphill fastball right there for the punch out of Stewart. So Stewart gets 3 fastballs up, swings and misses at all 3 of those. That really played. Here's McLean. Very nice inning. Very nice inning. All right, second inning.
Things that we've been doing so far in this series. Really good pitching and timely hitting.
First pitch, four-seam up in, good spot to Nathaniel Lowe. Now to the cutter. Probably going to go back there. Tries to go backdoor, just misses high. Now they're going to try to go up in. Ooh, gets it there and gets him. That's a. So here's what the four-seam in created this chase. First pitch of this at bat, he dotted the four-seam up and in. So as this ball's trending out of hand, remember they're coming from a way extreme arm angle and a side release. So he sees everything going right to left anyway. He can't detect that that's a cutter now. He thinks it's a fastball. He goes to fire at it, and the ball just keeps moving in, whereas the other one came back to the corner. So that's what happened there, and it was actually a beautiful tunnel, even though they had a pitch in between them. That created that chase. So 1-2, and here's a front door sinker, which I actually don't like in this spot. But he ends up getting a happy accident up and away freeze job. So there's the first K of the day. Happy accident. And here's Gino. 97 up in. That's a great first pitch to Gino. He wants to dive and hook. That might discourage that a little bit. Yeah, and then he doesn't really stick his neck in there on the second one, and he gets it to the top of the zone. He's way underneath that. Pops it up to Mark. 2 outs, and here is Spencer Steer. Four-seam bottom of the zone, nice pitch. Four-seam coming again. Perfect. Down and away to up and in, love that. Now they're going to go sinker. That should have been strike 3. Holy cow, that was strike 3. Didn't get the call, though. And now he's going to get a out on the next one. Down and in. Man, the camera production is brutal on this broadcast. This was the pitch right now. This is also maybe a better camera angle than the broadcast. Gets in deep on that sinker. All right, that's the second inning. Third inning. Noel V. Marte, fastball up and in. Perfect 0-0 pitch if you're going to go four-seam there. Ooh, and then dots the outside corners. That's tough. That's tough. Change up off of that. Almost got clipped. Not really sure why he would throw a change up there, but he wanted that lower. Anyway, ends up getting him out. Good job there. Biggest thing right now is he's dictating the at-bats. Couple times he fell behind, but he's thrown his fastball in the zone pretty effectively here early. There's one right there to Trevino. Cutter off of that.
He went to Garner Magnet High School.
Yeesh, that's close.
NFL players, so they're not a punching Judy schedule kind of high school.
Cutter up, he swings underneath that. So cutter up to righty has been effective so far. Now they're going to go for the backdoor sinker, and he goes in with the sinker. Long hop, Zach Short. Oh, and Swaggy should have caught that. Or at least picked it, or I don't know. Kind of a weird. I forgot Shorty was back with the Metros, by the way. Good dude right here. But we don't convert that into an out. So one guy's on. And here is Matt McLean. Sinker down. See if he can get a double play ball here. So he hasn't moved at all now. He's stuck in one spot on the rubber at least. To me, it felt like he needed to settle on that based on the fact that he all of a sudden lost the strike zone. Man, the sweeper just takes off. He really needs to start the sweeper for strikes. His lane is like right here, I would say, for a strike. And then for chase, his lane is like right here. So those are his two lanes. He can't throw it any more left than that, or thing's gone. Like that, just gone. All right, 2-1 sinker here. Going to be a hit. All right, so kind of a predictable sinker there. And, ooh, Juan Soto. Lets it get underneath him. So a little bit of suspect Mets defense here in the third. Second and third, although that ball was hit very hard. How hard? I'm going to guess 102. 104.5. All right, so second and third, one out. Now we have Arroyo back to the top of the order. Cutter up and away ball, and then he's going to hit him with the sweeper. So he loads the bases. Yeah, he just can't locate his sweeper, man. I don't he just doesn't have his lane. It's just his lanes aren't locked in. And yes, it's got exceptional spin and movement. This is even lower spin than normal. But he just doesn't have his lane really figured out. That's a wild miss. So bases chucked. 1 out for J.J. Bleday. First pitch cutter misses in. Let's see how he gets it back on the rails here. Cutter in, now to the sinker. 2-0. Now 95 four-seamer. It's middle. It's a great play by A.J. Ewing, and more than just a great play at the perfect moment, because that's just a sac fly and nobody else can advance. This is very fortunate. This is the only run of the game that scores. If you're the second base runner, you kind of have to go halfway here, so that if the ball drops, you have a shot to score or to at least get to third. If you go back and tag right away, and the ball drops, or it gets by him, you're not going to look very good. So the idea here typically would be to go about halfway. Although I actually think he did it better than even I thought he did fine. He's not halfway, but he's off the bag, and then he starts to go back a little bit. But it's anyway. Point is, great play by Ewing, and only 1 run can score. And that's a 2-0 challenge heater to J.J. Bleday. Guess he gets in on him a little bit. 95, but yeah, just a little bit, and a great play by Ewing. So that's 1 out, 1 run in. And then he's going to finish out the inning, I think, here with Sal Stewart. First pitch sweeper, ball. Another sweeper going to be a ball. Man, really struggling to land that pitch. And then a 2-0 sinker. So, man, he got himself in some big trouble in this inning and was able to work out of it with 2 2-0 fastballs, one being a four-seam to Bleday, one being a sinker to Stewart. All right. I mean, I thought he looked sharper in the first 2 innings, but he gets in trouble when he tries to go to the breaking ball early, which I think is a great plan for him if he can strike it, but he's not striking it. All right, there's a sweeper. He gets a chase, and now he goes to the curveball. See, I think in a perfect world, he'd love to do a lot of these sequences. Sweeper to curveball, but you got to be able to zone up the sweeper. Low chops it out.
That was shortly after he had chatted with Stewart.
All right, here's Gino, tries the sweeper, misses. Going to go back to it again. There we go. That's the lane. That's the lane. Just burn it into your soul right here, Nolan. Ride it for a while. Nice pitch there. Now to the changeup, which I don't love here. Does work, though. Pulled foul. Four seam up. Let's see it. Four seam up and away. And now curveball. I mean, once he gets into a good count, he's going to strike a lot of people out. His weapons are overwhelming. This is a banger. First curveball we've seen in a while. 81 miles an hour, 21 inches of total movement. I mean, 31, excuse me.
Swing and a miss.
31. Nasty. All right, next up, Spencer Steer. 2 outs, nobody on. Tries to ambush. Good choice on the sinker. Gets it in, pulls it foul. I would have went changeup off of that. He's going four seam. Gets the take. I would go breaking ball now. Sticking with the four seam. 2-1. Third consecutive four seam. Gets a fortunate foul ball. 2-2. And now sinker back door. Now that was a perfect spot. That last sinker. That was absolutely dotted. This is perfect pitch by Nolan right here. We got a super chat. Hey, Adam, biggest fan back. Broke my heart when you left New York Yankees. Is it rude to call you Otto, or do you mind? Does it make you sad to see your old teammates still playing while you're retired? Yes, it's fine to call me Otto. No problem with that. AO, Otto, Adam, whatever you want. Does it make me sad? No, it doesn't make me sad. It doesn't make me sad. It was sad. I already got, my sadness is gone. I'm good now. I love watching the game. It's hard to play this game. It's hard to play forever. Would have been cool, but it's hard. Thanks for that. Thanks for the super chat, though, by the way. Curveball to a righty and a sweeper to a lefty. Interesting. I think he's just struggling with the breaking balls a little bit and trying to pull them out of the hat in certain moments. a little more than when he was last year. He was really leaning on them a lot, and he was throwing a lot of strikes, I felt like. All right, there's a nice fastball strike at the bottom. Right on right cutter here to Marte. Pulls that one. Here comes a cutter. Again, pulls that one. And a sinker. It's just really hard mechanically to be way over on the mound and crossfire. So one thing I want to make, this is a nice little bounce play by Bichette. Well done. But one thing I want to take note of here mechanically, because this is similar to me circa 2012. I got to go to center field cam. 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016. Now, he's a little bit more straight than me, but don't be fooled by this angle. There's a little bit of a crossfire here. The tough thing with the crossfire is getting to your arm out in front of your body to get to this lane really well, the glove side lane. Because your arm's coming on a diagonal angle, like if your timing's a little off, you're almost guaranteed to have a pretty bad miss. Like if your hand's a little late, you're going to miss way up and in. And if your hand is even a fraction early, you're going to pull it way away. You're just not giving yourself as much margin for error. Now, one of the fixes for this problem, if you want one, if you want a way to cheat it. So you see how his foot is pretty straight here, even with the rubber. Well, one option is to kind of pivot your foot. You pivot your back foot. So now instead of it being square and going to the plate, you pivot it so that your angle is a little bit more to the left. That's a little extreme, the arrow I drew, but you get the idea. You turn your foot a little bit, and that allows you to clear your hips a little bit and stay in your delivery and still achieve getting into this lane a lot easier from way over. So, yeah, that's what I think is going on sometimes with his misses is he's creating himself a tough angle, which I think makes him tough to hit, but I also think it makes it a little tough to command the glove side part of the plate consistently. And when he does it, it's going to be a nasty. That's that bounce throw again. But when he doesn't, he's going to miss in non-competitive spots a lot. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. There's a nice sinker that was in that lane and check back to the middle. And then here's another one. Another good one. Middle down, semi in off the one hop. Throwing a ton of heaters through this stretch right here. All right, 2 outs, nobody on, and Matt McLean. Nice cutter. I love right on right cutter 0-0. They're usually not looking for that, and then once you throw that, you don't throw it again. Fastball away, just misses. Now he's going back to his cutter. Interesting. See if he gets it to the outer corner. Leaves it down the middle. Probably a pitch McLean would want to swing at, but again, they don't usually look for that. And then he's going to throw a sweeper probably off that would be my guess. Nope, curveball. Okay, same effect though. Smaller break to bigger break. McLean's lucky to foul that off, and now they're going to go to the sweeper and get the strikeout. So, yeah, that was all set up by the 2 cutters in zone. That's the one reason I like cutter in zone to righty early in the count is because it creates a great opportunity to get chase on a sweeper or curveball, and you see it right here. That's filthy. That's vicious. Nice pitch. Probably his best inning so far. 6th inning.
Or on the go and stay connected all year long. Subject to national exclusivity.
Sinker strike.
Hit by pitch, he is grounded out to second.
4-seam up underneath, popped foul, and now curveball off of that. Let's see if he gets it below. No, but that was nasty. Dotted down and away, good pitch. He's cooking now. All right, Blade, this is 3rd time through the order. This is why, like, sometimes I reject the whole 3rd time through the order penalty. There are definitely some pitchers that get better as they go, and you better get them early. You know, we've all seen that with aces over the years, or they have big enough arsenal where once it clicks, I mean, now they have all their options available to them and a little information from the first 2 at-bats. So I don't always subscribe to the saying of 3rd time is harder, but I understand the numbers in general indicate that. All right, there's the first walk. Just kind of loses Blade. Now he's going to try to get 2 from Sal Stewart, and guess what? He's going to get it. Oh, no, Semien drops the ball. That would have been an easy double play. Little check swing. Didn't mean to swing at it ball. Right to Mark. Good feed, and then Marcus just drops it. So 2 outs, and here's Lowe. This has been an interesting matchup. He's actually located him in very well. So again, this is a tough pitch to make, given this angle right here. But he freaking dots this pitch on the inside corner. So when it's good, it's good. Really good. Great pitch there.
McLean has great zip on that fastball. He's a hard thrower.
Change up down. Change up again. I do think his changeup will be tougher from this angle. Changeup and sinker are just weird pitches from this angle, and less margin for error with them. But four seam will be good, sweeper and curveball. So I think that's what he's setting himself up for, and probably cutter too. All right, 1-2 curveball attempt. That was a good one, below zone. And now to the changeup, and he's going to give up a hit here. Yeah, I mentioned that's like that's just a pulled changeup into a hittable area. And now they got action. First and third, 2 outs. And here is Suarez. First pitch, sinker coming. That's a little bit down. And then he's going to get him out on another sinker. Ay. You could see Gino's not happy. That was a good pitch for him to hit. I do think, though, the angle helps a lot with these fastballs. You know, you're throwing from basically behind the guy. So it's tricky a little bit to stay in there and to, measure it. And he just slices under that. But location-wise, this was probably a mistake. Little too middle on that. And you can see Gino not too thrilled. Yeah, not too thrilled. All right, 7th inning. So here he is, makes it to the 7th. This was very, very needed by him and the Mets. Sweeper away ball. Fastball up, swing and miss. Here comes a sweeper on the back of that. There's a good sweeper right in the lane. 1-2. Now to the curveball. Lawn dart and another curveball for the strikeout. So doesn't abandon it, fixes it on one pitch. Nasty curveball. That's probably the best curveball of the day. And it's right on right, but that's filth. All right, 1 out in the 7th.
Good, and I agree, John. I feel like he has the 3rd inning. I feel like
here is Marte again. Sweeper misses. Still 0-0 in the soccer match.
Wow.
Another fastball up and in. Torrens thought about talking to him there. Didn't. Heater in, chopped foul. Now the 4-seam, probably dotted away, huh? Up and away gets the take. So sinker, 4-seam, curveball, no, and sinker called strike. He's frozen him twice on that, I think. Nice pitch. All right, 2 outs in the 7th. Trevino. Cutter ball, cutter hit. I don't know about the double up here, but I love the first pitch one. Second one, I don't know. Line drive to left hit. No big deal. He can't run. And he's going to end his outing to Matt McLean here. So McLean versus McLean, different spelling. Showdown to end it.
Probably a wise decision at this point in your life.
Sinker. Sweeper. Capped off. Please throw me some likes. And 4-seam up. Called strike 3, and he powers through 7 innings. So you saw the issue. In this game, he was able to actually make this pitch a little bit more often than he has been lately. He still struggled with his breaking ball command overall in the game. But look, he settled on one side of the rubber. That's my first big takeaway here. And he threw a lot of fastballs with good velocity and conviction. A lot of cutter early in the count, which I don't hate as an overall strategy. But look, I mean, I've never had any doubt about McLean being the guy. I just think he's going through a little bout where he's not as sharp as he normally is. This game was a lot more impressive. He got away with some stuff in that 3rd inning. But ultimately, he was able to make a lot of those really, really high degree of difficulty crossfire glove side pitches with the fastballs. Threw both types of fastballs really well. Located his fastball at the top of the zone very well. And so, he did a good job. Reds offense isn't great, but that's neither here nor there for the sake of this. All right, let me hop in the chat. It's so funny that the down and away fastball has come back to effectiveness. Old heads punching the air right now. Yeah, I think you can't live there all the time, but I think especially in opposite-handed matchups, but I do think there's a lot of freeze there. And a lot of it is because I've talked about this before, but a stat that used to be valued was like pitches per plate appearance. So like there was no thinking. I don't think there was a ton of groupthink about chase rate, and people talked about having good approaches and getting strikes to hit and stuff, but there wasn't a lot of chase rate being pounded into every hitter. And so guys were taught to be annoying and foul pitches off. So a lot of times they would offer at that freeze pitch. Whereas now guys are trained to strike out looking. Like they don't want to strike out with a chase. They know that's going to hurt their plate discipline numbers. So therefore, pitches around the edges for freeze, particularly hard pitches, are going to be there. And the biggest ones are fastball, four-seamers down and away that look like they're going to be low, and then they stick at the bottom. And then the sinkers that start ball and come back for strike. Those are the two fastball types of that. Should he raise his arm angle a bit so he can get it less crossfire? I don't really want to mess with it right now. I think he can get better. I think he can cheat the back foot a little bit. Would be my. I wouldn't mess with the arm angle right now. I think McLean. I mean, it would make his curveball more downward, but I think it would take away from what he's got going on a little bit. Ayo, who do you got for AL Cy Young? So it's obviously early. I think leader in the clubhouse, probably Cam Schlittler, leader in the clubhouse. Cease lurking, couple people lurking. Don't know if you saw this question, Ayo, but what does the ball feel like coming out of the hand at high speed? Is ride really dependent on how hard you grip the ball and arm angle? Ride is incredibly correlated with arm angle. The higher the better because you're more behind the ball. Therefore, you can get more pure backspin and have the seams working for you. What does it feel like when it's really coming out of your hand? It feels easy. It's that same feeling. It's a similar vibe to like when you crush a ball on the barrel and you don't feel it, but you got it pure. It's the same coming off your fingertips when you feel it spin out just right, leaves your hand just right. And you had the right amount of, force on that thing and spin coming off your hand. So it feels really pure and clean, and it's a nice feeling. What was I going to say? Gripping it hard. I mean, some pitches you have to grip harder than others, but yeah, I mean, if you can like put a lot of tangential force into the ball in a fastball, it's going to rip out really nice. Feels like foot rubber placement is everything for some guys. Well, I mean, I think it's become a bigger part of the conversation. They're definitely measuring it more now. But yeah, I mean, it's the presentation to the batter. It's another way to possibly be unique or to hide your pitches. Nolan said his blister issue is getting better given how common of a problem this seems. Do pitchers ever try to condition their hands to be resistant to blisters? Heard golfers use super glue. Yeah, sure. Yeah, guys do different things. I mean, I used to take super care of my hands during the season. My nails always short, nail file. I used to get a fake. I would go to like a nail salon and get like a fake hard gel put on my fingertip right here, just so this nail wouldn't break. You try to work that callus in early. I would wear finger cots, which are like little condoms on your fingers in the hot tub, cold tub, so not to soften my skin too much. Like I thought about everything. There's soaks you can use that are like different, skin tougheners, and there's different things like that. But if you're not on it, it's going to cost you if you put a lot of friction through the ball, which he's got even more than me. Why does Nolan's curveball sometimes drop straight down and sometimes look like it's sweeping across the zone? In Cincinnati, camera angle just confusing me. Yeah, it's the angle's confusing you. When the angle is more offset to the right, it's not going to appear to have as much sweep to the left. You're only going to notice more of the north-south movement there, Maya. But his curveball is very sweepy. It's a huge slurve, basically. I mean, you call it a curve because it has so much drop, but it has got a lot of break to the left as well. Two-plane monster break. Love the content, baseball and coffee, but I think should be called coffee and curveballs. Appreciate it. Thanks, Anthony, for hanging. He settled on one side of the rubber. You could say he picked a McLean. Well done, Gyro. Nice dad joke right there. Given that they are calling a lot of the pitches, how much time is spent watching film on catchers across different pitchers akin to how you would scout a defensive, offensive coordinator in football? Most catchers do a good job of not giving away location early, but I bet you watching film, they could pick up on some of this stuff. I don't know specifics on that, but I bet it would appear in a scouting report from every now and then. Can you break down Carlos Legrange's outing with Scranton Wilkes-Barre? We watched him in the last stream, or maybe it was 2 streams ago. It was one of the last 2 streams, and still think he's a starter, but I think he'll impact the Yankee bullpen at some point, no doubt. Varland lurking top 5 AL Cy? Yeah, maybe. I think this one's also a good pick. Drew Rasmussen is definitely in the convo. I would agree with that. All right, we're going to watch Yesavage from today here in a minute, I think. Peeing on hands legit was an old school remedy for blisters. Yes, that's true. People do that. Tom Brady said he had only about 20 throws per season that felt exactly how he wanted them to. That's probably a little bit of an exaggeration, but it is true. Like perfect. Yeah, it's not that high of a percentage. Small dog, man, you could have came and seen me at Punch Love. I'm loving Birmingham. I had a sandwich at the Garage Cafe. It was unbelievable. Yeah, Bradish. I think we can go Bradish next after Yesavage, since I've already committed there. Adam, I'm a huge Mets fan. What's going on? Were the vibes this bad when you were there? Something seems off. So I'm not there anymore. I don't have any information for you, Five Borough. I wish I did. I'm not asking the people I know in there about how's the vibes. But I mean, I have a little information, but nothing important. So things were good though when I was there for the most part. I mean, we had a couple issues, but they were small. Okay, Bradish. So a couple people are talking Bradish, and then did you watch Varland? Yes, he was the first person we watched at the top of the show. Yep, Tom House. All right, let's catch up on the game from today, and then I'll circle back to Kyle Bradish from last night. Sorry for the out of order stuff, but wow, Seattle's got 3 in the first against whoever's pitching for Baltimore right now. Minnesota laying it on Texas, Cleveland over Milwaukee. All right, Toronto 4, Boston 3. Yesavage gave up some runs here towards the end. 7 1/3, 4 hits, 3 runs, no walks, 6 strikeouts, 2 homers. Oh, 2 homers. IKF and Durbin. I knew it was going to be righties. When he's going to get hit, I think it's going to be righties. I do. All right. What about for the Jays offense? We got a home run from Vlad. He needed that. 2 for 4 for Springer. Valenzuela continues to do it. All right. On to the game. Player breakdown. Yesavage, 40 fastballs, 31 sliders, 24 splitters. So actually more slider usage. Faced more righties. So this time the Red Sox went with that approach. They stacked righties in the lineup versus Yesavage. That's what I would have done as a manager. And so instead he leans on slider. 10 of 16 whiff on slider. Incredible. 63% whiff on slider. 40% chase for the game. 58% strikes. Okay. Let's do it. From today, Boston and Toronto. Trey Yesavage, 95 pitches. Let's rock.
3-3, 3.78 ERA.
All right. We got that straight on camera angle in Fenway to take a look at Trey Yesavage. So you see, different than McLean, obviously, he is on the first base side, and he's trying to get his arm right in the middle of the strike zone and pull that thing straight down, which if it looks to me like he achieves that quite well. Look at the arm right down the middle. You can't do it any better than that. If you're trying to just bring it down the top like an iron mic, you split the zone with your arm and your hand, and you just let it rip. And this ball's got natural cut to it. His four seam.
2-0 and a
There's a swing and a miss on 2-0. So Gasper was trying to jump him right there. Did him a favor. Another fastball. Strike down and away. He probably thought that was low. Here comes a split. It's a fantastic take by Gasper. And now four-seam, middle up. You see that ball riding in on him. And he pops it up. Wow, Valenzuela goes a long way to make the play. Very nice play by Brandon. That was sick. All right, next. Fastball down the middle, popped up. Caught by Ernie Clement, so that's a one-pitch, one-out from Sadon. And now we're to Abreu. Throwing hard, 95, 96. It's crazy how he has to clear his whole torso out of the way to let his arm come through. This camera angle is like probably the best one we've seen in terms of just how directly into the zone he wants to be, and he wants to work flat to the top and downhill to the bottom. There's that downhill fastball. Any type of off-speed off that's going to play. Yep, splitter. Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect tunnel right there. Good luck. Watch this again. Fastball down. Bam, and then splitter down right off the same lane. They look the same, and yet they're 10 miles an hour apart. That is nasty. So that's the first inning. Here comes the second inning. Little slider, get me over to Contreras, and slider again. Oh, what's up, Tracy? That one's low. Now to the fastball. I have to say, Contreras has been great. So that was a great move. You got to. We're going to criticize the bad moves. You got to point out the good moves. Contreras was a great move, I think, for the Red Sox.
To say the least.
He's going to get him out with a fastball.
16 home runs up the middle.
Thought he hit that better than he did, but he didn't quite get through it enough. Out to Ernie for the out. Here is Duran.
Jim Rice was talking about earlier. Jim Rice never felt that.
No, like that.
Strike one.
I had to make contact.
See, he's looking at the iPad we were looking at. Same. Four-seam up, gets the accidental foul ball. Now to the split. High split, fouled off, and now good split, strikeout. Oh, the splitter is so good when he gets it below the zone. So good. Yikes. Dirty. All right, here is IKF, who clips him later in the game. Four-seam strike. Here's another four-seam. Way above the zone, popped up. Easy play for Ernie. Vladdy just taking a nap over there at first, and here is Durbin, who's going to get him later as well. Four-seam middle. Man, he came way underneath that ball and flew it out pretty deep. Just missed that. Came underneath that. All right, third inning.
Tendency to bend that back a little bit too much on release.
Four-seam in strike.
When he gets out of line,
here comes a slider.
Control problems not here today.
That's up. That's a ball. Do the metrics on the right tell you about the cut you're talking about? Yeah, they do. Like all right, so like just a little, like if I have to always scroll down for them, but like his slider is a reverso. It goes left to right on your screen. His slider goes left to right, and you know that because it's positive horizontal break. Negative break goes left to right. Positive break goes from right to left, and positive break goes from left to right. So that is his east-west movement, and that's the horizontal break on the slider, which you can't see there, but it's going 5 to the right. This is a slider that only goes 1 inch to the right, and then this is a fastball that only goes 2 inches to the right. So again, 2 inches to the right is going to feel like perceived cut. That's actually a really weird chase here by Connor Wong. But all that happened here was his hand's in the middle. He just didn't square his hand up to the plate, and that's why this ball heads in. There's no real east-west movement. This is more of like a reverse angle he created here. But then we'll look at the HAA VAA if you want to see that. He's going to be elite with his VAA downward on some of his pitches. All right, Strikeout there. Really weird chase. Here's Monasterio.
Just doesn't give you the strike to do it.
Four-seam down. Gets the call.
2 down, bases empty. And a strike, 0-2.
Same pitch.
And 3-pitch strikeout. Here's a split. And you can see why it's so good. I mean, it looks like a strike for a long time coming from that high release. And then you just run out of bat. It's a tunneling effect, and his is fantastic between really all his pitches, but especially fastball to either of his breaking balls. All right. What inning are we in now? 4th inning. Still cooking. Here's Gasper, top of the order. So minimum through 3. This was such a good sign for him, too, because he's had some command problems. Ooh, Switzerland scored. 2-1. Here comes the challenge heater. Good swing. I thought Mickey Gasper's looked pretty hitterish up there lately. Line drive, ground rule, double for the mustachioed man. And now we have an 0-0 slider to Rafaela. He's going for the bunt. Okamoto's on it and makes the play. Nice play by Kaz. So man on third. 1 out. Looking for the strike. Little backup slider. Now splitter. Good take. And now in play outs. Fastball. Yep, there's that pop-up. It's not quite infield, but it's too shallow. I don't think they can tag. Yep, Gasper bluffs it. He would have been safe, though. Throws horribly offline. So Red Sox leave a run on the table there. Little unfortunate. And now he's going to get out of it with this at-bat to Contreras. Splitter ball. Get those numbers up, boys. All you got to do is, and girls, all you got to do is hit that button. Ooh, a nice slider in the dirt here from Trey to Contreras.
1-2.
And he's going to finish him off with another slider below the zone. So he's so good at getting chases below zone, and he dominates with some beautiful ones right there to Contreras. 5th inning. Splitter to Duran. Smoke to right at Sanchez. That's unfortunate. Good swing. Yeah, it's a little bit of an eye roll and a smile. 110.7 line out to start this inning off. This was an absolute meatball splitter. So lucky, a little bit lucky right there. Here's IKF. Fastball at the top ball. Another fastball coming here. Ball 2. And another fastball coming here. So going right at IKF this whole game. And, oh, man, he's put 2 balls that he thought he fouled off semi in play for outs. Poor guy, first 2 at-bats. Luckily, he gets through him earlier.
He's flied out deep to center. Down to 189 with 3 home runs. Need to hit 0 for his last 15.
Slider swing and miss.
Brewers are first place team in the NL Central by 5.5 over St. Louis.
Perfect slider again. Right below the zone is his game.
2 gone.
And you can see so well from this angle. All right, here's a fastball to get Durbin out to finish the 5th. Comes way underneath that. Durbin's swinging way uphill right now. I think it's working for him, but it's pretty apparent. All right, 6th inning. Here is Connor Wong. Fastball ball. Slider coming. Strike. That was borderline, but strike. Slider coming again. Oop, over the top. 1-2. Splitter down ball. 2-2. Another fastball coming here. Down freezes open, I would think. Man, rolls it over foul. Rolls it over foul. That's a good pitch. Ooh, called strike. Wonder if it's away. I don't even know, man. Just an up and in top shelf slider for a take with reverso movement. It's a really weird pitch. But that's where deception really is so critical. You don't have to be as precise because you're so weird. All right, here's Monasterio. Splitter strike. Now he's starting guys off with splitters. He was really cooking here. He really was. Slider down. So splitter, backdoor strike. Slider below zone. Swing and miss. Slider in zone. Pop up. Very, very quick out here. Nice play by Vladdy.
As you say, got the out anyway. Here's Mickey Gasper.
Splitter strike. Splitter coming again.
And the 0-1.
So he almost cooked too hard in the 6th inning here. That then they kept letting him run out there. Splitter, 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 splitter this time to Gasper, who had good swings on, I thought, the fastballs. First 2 at-bats. Little poke out to center. Lucas is there onto the 7th inning. So he's going to give up one of the runs here. Sadon, 93 down, strike. Slider coming off that.
Another really good outing from Sonny Gray.
Huge chase. Try it again. This time no chase, and try it again. So maybe a little too much. Yeah, and he's able to smack that down the line. Awkward hop out to Pinongo. Sadon's quick, though, double. So he's got 2 knocks, or been on base twice at least. Here is Abreu. Home run foul on a split.
0-2.
Slider swing over the top. There's a question in here about the difference between his splitter and slider. I'll show you them on the movement chart. There almost is no difference, but I think the big thing is the way they look out of the hand. And they have maybe a little bit of speed separation as well. So it's like kind of like a traditional fastball changeup type of effect, right? Like 2 pitches that are hard to tell apart, and you're going to be a little maybe off time or have trouble recognizing them, perhaps. I would say that's probably the point of it, even though they have very similar movement profiles. All right, so a fly out to right hit pretty well. 97 makes Sadon go to 3rd now with 1 out. And here is Contreras. Splitter dirt ball.
Here's the 1-0. Swinging a drive.
Splitter pulled foul. I did ask Kike the other day, Spec, about, because I'm going to be on the MLB stage at Fanatics Fest, and Dodgers are in town. So I asked him if he would want to come on the show, talk a little baseball, but rip some packs. And he said he doesn't know if he'll be healthy or not yet, but that sounds fun. So we'll see. Obviously, he's got to get back healthy, but he's been killing it with his Pokemon card ripping. Fastball down to Contreras. So that they play the infield back. That scores the run. Red Sox sort of manufacture that run a little bit. So they cut into it 3-1. Here is Duran. Slider. Strike. Switzerland, another golazo. Ooh, I wonder how this one was. Waiting on a replay here as he's going to get Duran out here with a split. Got him way out front. So he gets through 7 with 1 run. And they do decide to send him back out for the 8th inning. Oh, here's the replay of the goal. Oh, nice little feed. Oh, okay. Nice little, sort of like a one-timer. Kept it low, snuck it by the keeper. Nice shot. All right, 8th inning. First pitch, home run to IKF on a fastball. IKF knew he was getting a heater. He's been getting heaters the whole dang game. This one's in a good spot, but he pesky pulls him. I guess maybe a little more than a pesky pull. I mean, not pesky pull. Green Monster, but 98-4 at 42. Maybe not a home run often. IKF gets him, though. Brings him within 1. Now here's Durbin. Durbin's going to get him, too. Slider ball, fastball homer. Big velocity drop-off to start this inning. Might have hurt. That's middle down. That's where I would think his fastball would get hit. We've talked about Durbin getting under balls. Tattoos that one off the National Car Rental sign, and we are tied. Man, he pitched a heck of a game to give up back-to-back homers here in the 8th inning, and the crowd is jacked at Fenway. 98-6, both of them under 100. Check out the Durbin swing right now from the side. Just getting way under that thing. Coming up through that ball. Anyway, wow. Incredible for Trey, man. Back-to-back home runs to start off the 8th inning to tie the game. That's crazy to see. I mean, overall, I think he's pitched great. I think he's been cooking in this game. But, yeah, gotten a little bit of trouble here. So this ends up being his last batter. Connor Wong. Slider away. Slider down, strike. I mean, I do think he looked so good in the 6th inning, and honestly, even the 7th inning, giving up the 1 run that I think with his pitch count, I don't have a problem with him getting sent back out. But it did look like he got victimized by a little bit of slower fastball velo to start the inning, maybe. And maybe some predictable pitches and some good job by both batters to be on the fastball. Does get Wong out here for the last out of his outing. So he goes 7 1/3 with those 3 runs, the 2 solo shots, gives up all the runs at the very end of the game. Overall, very good outing. Very good outing. I know he gave up those runs late. Here's the velocity differential. Definitely dropped the biggest amounts, I would say, right after the 6th inning. 6th inning was his best inning, I thought. Sat in the 94, 95 range most of the game, and then he was a little tick below 94. But, I mean, it's pretty insignificant. I don't have a huge problem with it. But it was a 92-mile-an-hour pitch that Durbin clipped him on, for what it's worth. I don't know. He's been good. He's been very interesting with his walk rate being a little elevated. But you see how hard he is to hit when he has it cooking. I still think the deception is playing incredibly well. Coming off of 2 bad starts, he gets himself back on track here. Really, 3 of his last 4. But when he has it cooking, he's incredibly hard to hit. The big thing has been the walks as of late. A 7-walk outing and a 6-walk outing and a 3-start span. Yeah, that would have been a little worrisome, but he did correct it today. So good job by him. All right, let me hop in the chat. Here. Jay's pen was missing a couple top guys, apparently. And they've been super taxed all year. So somebody had to step up and pitch a little deeper. Cease didn't do it the other night. So, I mean, I have no problem with them sending him out. It's going to happen sometimes. If they hadn't taxed their bullpen to filth, maybe they wouldn't send him out. Yeah, possibly. It's definitely possibility. John Schneider hung Yesavage out to dry in the 8th, in my opinion. I don't know. I think it made sense for him to go back out, but I don't know. Known elite closer Mason Fluharty. Can we watch Fluharty's save? Fluharty's save was 5 pitches. Okay. And then Valenzuela hit a big hit off of Chappie. All right, let's watch both of those happenings. First, we'll watch the Fluharty save. 5 pitches, huh? 5-pitch 9th inning. Wilyer Abreu. Not a great 9th inning performance from the Red Sox here. A little sweeper to the corner, and now a cutter. Underneath that, pops it up. Can of corn in the sun for Straw. And then, what do we got? 3 more pitches left. First pitch, changeup out to Contreras. That's not what you want to swing at. 0-0. That's a good pitch to get him to chase that. Chopper to third. Okamoto's got it. And then Duran. Sweeper strike. So all over the strike zone. And sweeper, ball game over. So this is an awesome, really fun outing to be on the mound for. 1-run games on the road are super nerve-wracking. I mean, obviously, going into them. But when you get quick outs, it's just so beautiful. 5 pitches, 3 outs. This is really well located last 2 sweepers. Got this one right off the edge away. Duran goes after it and pops it up. So nice outing from Fluharty. He's been important as usual. I really like him with guys on base, but he did a great job there in the traditional sense. And then Valenzuela with a big at-bat and hit off of Duran for the hit off of Chapman for the go-ahead. So Valenzuela from the right side facing the great Araldis. 100 away. He says, I don't know, but it is indeed a strike, whether it was or not. 0-1. 100 miles an hour. Here's another fastball. Up and away. Another fastball. Big hack, but definitely underneath that. So 1-2. Now they're going to go for that up and away sinker runner thing. That's the Chappie finisher. Is able to foul that off. They'll try it again. He always wants to finish his outing with this type of pitch. Very close to swinging, but doesn't swing there. Sticking with the hard stuff again. Now we're at 3-2.
3-2 pitch now.
Sticking with it again. So four seam, and then a whole bunch of sinkers.
Popped it up.
That's a great pitch that he somehow gets to and fouls off. Here's another. Another nice foul off. And then another. So he sees, I don't know,
Swinging a high fly ball.
probably about 5 sinkers in a row.
Duran back. And now coming
And this is probably an out most places, but is able to get it off the monster just perfectly. And there's 2 outs, so Ernie's running, and he comes around to score. I don't know. Maybe the moment called for something other than a fastball, but they stuck with it. And you got to give credit to Valenzuela for putting ball in play. 100 miles an hour at 51 degrees, though. What's the expected batting average on that? And then obviously Ernie knows the situation. He comes motoring around, and there's no stopping that. Let's watch Ernie run the bases because this ball's bouncing forever. So he's gone, and he's got it in his mind. He's running awfully hard from second to third. And by the time Duran touches the ball, he's almost home already. Great job by Ernie to run that out. And that was very fortunate. Let's look at the expected on that one. That was expecting batting average of 0-10. Home runs in 0 of 30 ballparks. So that's an out almost every time. And yet it's not. Yeah, it's not. All right, so we did some good Blue Jay watching there. We saw everything that happened there. Yesavage's outing, Fluharty's save, 5 pitches. Fluharty. 3-1 Switzerland now. Bosnia scored with a man down, so this game's over. A lot of very happy patrons. The Swiss, who had a tough opening match in a draw, get a nice, they're going to get the 3 points here. This was a nice little volley goal, though, by Bosnia. Through a million bodies. Mamic. I mean, if nothing else, he got a sick World Cup goal on his resume. Do I think Ernie should be an all-star? I haven't done my all-star yet, but he's out hitting over 300. I'm a big Ernie Clement fan, so pretty good chance I could probably look at that. Oh, we wanted to circle back really quick to Trey Yesavage's HAA, VAA stats, right? Let's see. Fanatics Fest is right after All-Star break. Dodgers open up versus the Yankees right after the break, so that's when it is, Fanatics Fest. And I'll be there on the Thursday, I believe, first day of Fanatics Fest. I have an hour. I think I have an hour on stage. So we have some thoughts about that. All right, let's open this up a little bigger so everybody can see it. And there it is. Trey Yesavage's 4-seam fastball is a negative 5.9 degrees, which is second percentile, which means it's the second most naturally downhill entry into the strike zone of any pitcher in the major leagues on his fastball. Also, the HAA, second percentile, meaning he's creating absolutely no angle out to the right. He is as far left with his arm, which we showed you was right down the middle. So virtually no horizontal approach angle to speak of at all. Essentially pin straight, but directly downhill. Actually, the most extreme of anybody in the league. Let's see the split. The split is the 3rd steepest in the league. And the slider is the 13th steepest in the league, probably because some guys have a little more ball drop, but you can see it's pretty gnarly downhill. Pretty gnarly downhill. You know, you want to compare that again. You want to do a funny one? We'll take Rogers. Tyler Rogers VAA. Let's go on fastballs. Oh, he doesn't have one, so we'll go. Shit. I guess we have to go slider just for the comparison because they both do sliders. So Trey's is the 13th steepest. Rogers is the first flattest. So I thought that was pretty funny. It's a pretty funny difference in release angles here, if you're into that sort of thing. Bradish next. You got it. I know there's been some people waiting for Bradish, so we will definitely look at him next. How often does a manager tell his starting pitcher pregame, "Hey kid, you're going to have to wear it today"? I mean, I think they try to stay away from like overwhelming the guy with an expectation, but sometimes, I mean, it goes without saying, you know what the situation is, and you're going to have to pitch deeper into that game. Sometimes I guess maybe they tell him, I don't know. That's an interesting one psychologically. Do you want to know that or do you not want to know that? Looks like we have a penalty kick coming up for Switzerland. Bet you Durant's outs above average got dinged for that ball off the wall. That sucks. If you uploaded the Blue Jays portions of your streams as videos, I think they would get pretty good numbers. I appreciate that. I mean, I do put the chapters in there, and I try to list off on the title a lot of the players I look at. Usually Blue Jays players do get me a few more views. There's no doubt about that. I'm very grateful for my Jays fans in here. All right, Kyle Bradish time. He pitched probably his best start of the year last night. He's had a big-time walk problem. He actually did a game that he pitched against Seattle on ESPN. So after the game last night, 15 starts, an even 4 ERA. He does strike a lot of guys out, but he's had a little bit of a walk problem. You see the 11.7% walk percentage. Jesus. And if you look at the game logs, it's that he's doing it in almost every game. I think he has 11 starts of 3 walks or more. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 starts of 3 walks or more. So it just hasn't been stingy with the walks. Now in this game he had 2, but he offset it with 12 strikeouts. That's the season high. Still rocking a 1.51 whip on the season. That kind of underscores the issue with the walks. And it's not like he's giving up no hits. I mean, he gave up more hits than innings pitched this month. But 7 2/3, 5 hits, 1 run. 2 walks, 7 strikeouts in this game. Let's look at the usage. He's got such good breaking balls. To me, that's his secret sauce. 35 sinkers, 29 curves, 19 sliders, 17 four-seamers. I feel like this is a slight down pairing of his usage. No. This is right on, dead on. I love when I'm immediately wrong. 62% whiff on curveball and 70% on sliders. So breaking balls were absolutely cooking in this game. Cooking, I tell you, and they were both harder. 1.3 harder on the curve, 1.8 harder on the sinker. Great first pitch strikes. So he was able to dictate and get to his breaking balls, basically, and then probably backdoor sinkers would be my guess. So, okay. Orioles and Mariners from last night. Kyle Bradish, 100 pitches, 12 strikeouts. Kyle Bradish, he's turned into a radish. But, I mean, in all seriousness, this is the one pitcher on this team that I think has real number one ability. And so it'd be nice if he could unlock that. All right, we'll watch every pitch early, and then we'll see if we switch to just results after a while. But fastball, both with actual cut, and then to sinker. And wow, we have a challenge, and this ball is touching. Holy cow, is it barely touching. So this is technically a perfect pitch. I don't even know what to say about that. He didn't mean to do that. Well, maybe he did. They're set up down the middle for some reason on an 0-2 sinker. But Adley's right with that challenge. Great challenge. Holy cow. All right, here is Cal Raleigh, welcome back, who was mashing in AAA. And there's a mash ball. First pitch fastball swinging. Line drive single. He was mashing in his rehab assignment. So that's where another possible way the Mariners could really level up. And maybe that's the thing that I've been underrating, is that they've just been without full-strength big dumper this year. All right, sinker swing and miss, sinker down. Here's a curveball. This was the pitch of the night, right? Oh my God, and they're going to get the free out. Oh my God, Julio swung at a pitch that bounced way in front of the plate. My goodness. Yikes, and they get the free out. Great job by Adley to pounce on that and throw Cal out. Unbelievable, and then he's going to go slider for the strikeout. Oh, dirty 90 mile an hour vicious slider. This is filthy, filthy, filthy pitch. I don't blame you for chasing that one, but the first chase is what messed you up pretty good.
Right now, more like a football.
All right, second inning.
Right now.
Dom can zone, curveball down. All right, let's go to results for a little bit. He's going to punch him with a curveball. So we're going to see a lot of this. Really good curveballs. That is sharp. 87 with -16. This is up there with best curveballs in the game, especially from his high release and relatively low amount of east-west. Banger for the strikeout there. Here's a one-pitch out to Cole Young. Sinker chopped in the ground. Good play by Gunnar. And then a 4-pitch walk. So here's a little bit of the walk hanging out. We got a banana on Logan Gilbert's shoulder for some reason. Banana on the shoulder. Wonder who put that there. All right, 4-pitch walk and then another strikeout on a curveball. So curveball's cooking. Emerson. Oh, that is friggin' gross. Holy shit. -18. Yikes. Yeah, so it's all about just getting ahead. Otherwise, you never get anybody to swing at these pitches. But, yeah, that is so filthy. He's got 2 of the best breaking balls in the game. Third inning. Backdoor sinker. Yes. Good pitch. Connor Joe punches him out. And now a called strike 3 backdoor slider to Mastroboni. Another very close pitch, but that is also in there. Good catch by Adley. They don't have to challenge. Look at this frame. Yep. 3-pitch punchy there. Back to the top of the order. And Crawford on a sinker. Little chopper again. Same play for Gunnar. Comes across the bag. So a very clean third inning. Fourth inning. Cal Raleigh going to get him with a fastball. Same pitch you gave up a hit on him last time. Ooh, just misses it. Got in on him a little bit with that cut on his fastball. Man, it's so close. But at least Cal looks like he's on time. I'll say that. Good pitch, though. Pops him out. Here's a hit. Julio on a sinker. Nice kangaroo. Blocks off a sinker, and that's going to burn Mr. O'Neill out there in right field. That went all the way to the wall. That was 103.5, and I thought that ball got in on him. This is where superstars are just different. I miss you, Brady. I love you guys. All right, so there's a nice double by Julio. And now they're going to get some runs. Dom Canzone on a sinker. Grounds it up the middle. This time Gunnar can't make it across the bag. So a double and a sinker, and just like that, the Mariners are on the board. I mean, a double and a single. And now Cole Young. 4-seam.
Good company indeed.
Right down the middle, but he pops it up.
Into shallow center field.
Easy play there. I bet you his arm is pretty much in the middle of the plate, similar to Yesavage's, to be honest with you. There's a vicious slider. Him and Yesavage aren't all that different. I mean, I think Bradish's got better breaking balls, more traditional. They go a little bit left. He doesn't have the split that Yesavage has, and Yesavage's fastball is probably better. But they're similar in terms of arm angle and stuff. That was a nasty slider to punch out Robles. All right, 5th inning. Curveball to punch out Emerson again. Let's watch all 3 pitches, because is it all curves? Punched him with a curve that first time, too. Curveball, curveball, curveball. Triple curveballs. I miss you, too, my love. I miss you, Brad. Hope you're good, my heart. Yeah, 3 curveballs. That's domination of the rookie. And then a curveball to Connor Joe. Oh, and that ball's hit hard. Base hit. Gets by Leody Taveras. Connor Joe's on the move. He's going 3. Relay to third. Oh, and he's cooked. 1 out, so it makes sense to try to go for 3 here. But nice rally. Good job by Taveras to not pity himself. He ran very hard after that and definitely got rid of it quickly. Clean to Gunnar. And a nice tag at third. So they get the free out. And that's going to, I think, end the inning, right? No, that's 2 outs. And then he's going to punch out Mastroboni for the second time, looking on a sinker. And that one's middle down. That one should have got swung at, probably. All right, 6th inning. Still pitching with a 1-run lead. First pitch out to Crawford. Deflected.
Deflected, and Alexander is able to recover.
Barehanded and thrown out. This is 3rd time through. Okay, nice to get a 1-pitch out. Here is Cal Raleigh. 3rd straight at bat. He's going to get a fastball in play. Oh, just misses that. Cal Raleigh's, these at bats look a lot better than by Cal Raleigh. And it's robbed. Home run robbed. That would have been a homer. Cal Raleigh's looking really good. I don't know why they try to sneak so many fastballs by him. 107 at 42. I think all 3 of the balls he's put in play were good swings. One of them was just a bit too far in, and then this one he just gets unlucky because it's robbed. That was crazy. Pay attention to you. What do you mean? I said I love you. I love you. I'm in the middle of doing my show here. All right. 2 outs, and he's going to punch out Julio on a curveball. So he's gotten some righties to chase curveballs down, too, and that pitch has been really ridiculously good. Do we have a better center field cam? No, it's way worse. Holy cow. Might be worth looking at his HAA, VAA as well. I bet you his curveball is probably, man, one of the top 5 steepest going down. All right, strikeout there. Here is Dom Canzone. Backdoor slider just misses. So leadoff walk here in the 7th. First pitch out, Cole Young. He's been killing him with 4-seamers all game. Gets above the bat there, pops it up. Slider coming here. Another, man, he's gotten some very fortunate 1-pitch pop-ups in this game. Easy pop-up there. That's 2 outs. And Emerson again on a curveball. My God, how many curveballs did he throw Emerson in this game? Right to Pete, and he's out. Are these all curveballs? Oh, he mixed in a sinker. So he goes curveball, sinker, curveball this time. All 3 at-bats ended on curveball. So this was probably the pitch to hit. Let's see. Kinda. All right, gets him out on 3 curveball. Unbelievable. All right, that's it for the 7th. We're going to go to the 8th. Called strike 3 on a sinker to Connor Joe. Oh, dot backdoor. That's the 2nd time he's done that. Nice pitch. Man, he's had some really close pitches low. He's benefited from 3 freezes like this on the low side of the zone. Nice catch by Adley. Master Boney doesn't want to strike out. Goes after that first pitch and is going to get a hit. Good approach there. Got a good pitch to hit, too, down in the zone. Now a 3-pitch strikeout to end his outing. This is 4th time through. 4th time versus Crawford. Curveball down. Velocity is still tremendous. 87 on that curveball. 95 sinker. Ooh, good pitch to hit, but it's Bayou. And then another 95 sinker, this time called strike 3. Perfect front door sinker. So he ends up getting 2 outs in the 8th. He pitched great. He pitched really, really good. He had unbelievable stuff. The curveball was unbelievable in this game. This is the best outing of the year. Definitely. Look, he needs to he just needs to stop walking guys, and he needs to get and to throw more I love you. I love you guys. And he just needs to just dictate more at bats. More first pitch strikes would be my thing. What's his first pitch strikes rate on the season? This might be the one issue he's got. Yeah, 55%. It's just not high enough. I don't care how nasty you are. You're not going to reach your potential at 55. Get me closer to 60. Closer to 60 would make a huge difference because he's got one of the nastier curveballs, honestly, in the league. Curveball and slider. Let's pull up that tool I was talking about and see if we can find him. See if we can find him. We do a video on second half breakout candidates. I don't know about making a whole video. Video's hard because then I got to edit. But I can do it on the stream live. We'll do it live. You know what I mean? All right, so here's Bradish. We were talking about how him and Yesavage had to be pretty similar, but you were already seeing here, like, for example, on the VAA, his arm is not anywhere near as close to the center. He's only 25th percentile on his sinker here. Let me go to four seam. So, yeah, there's a little bit more right to left than I would have thought, but you can see on the VAA, very similar to Yesavage on the VAA. He's 6th percentile. So that's 94th percentile of steepness. Let me see the curveball. I bet you the curveball is really high. Yeah, negative 10.8 degrees, 9th percentile, straight down. So that's what he's got going on. It's an incredibly downhill action on the slider and the breaking ball. Curveball, slider and curveball. So interesting to see. You just got to throw more strikes. And especially early in the count. That's probably it. You know, that's probably it for Bradish. He looked really good, though. Dun, dun, dun. All right, what's up in the chat? Was at work, didn't catch any of the live earlier. Do we have any Goldie segments? No, I could talk about Goldie. We can investigate him a little bit. We've only looked at McLean's full outing, Yesavage's full outing, a little Varland, a little other Jays stuff, Fluharty and Valenzuela against Chapman, and then we just watched Bradish. That's really it. First hour 40 of the stream. Bradish is currently scheduled to be a 2029 free agent. His arm just flashes through during his delivery. I'm not sure I can recall seeing an arm action quite like it, although it makes me very nervous for his elbow. Yeah, he does get very leady out here with the elbow, but I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I just think he throws his breaking balls with such vicious snap that I think that's kind of maybe what happened with his first Tommy John. Just hyperextending, getting so through his breaking ball a little bit. That wouldn't surprise me. Trevor Rogers not seen as the top of the rotation guy. I don't think so. I mean, his results last year says yeah, but I think I don't think so. We all knew that was kind of a fugazi, in my opinion. What if you start the at-bat 1-0 and you use that as leverage to get out of the at-bat unscathed, like a setup ball? Some people do that, but it's a risky game, you know. Then you got to really execute on that 1-0 or you're 2-0, you know. But I've heard people throwing intentional balls to set up something on 1-0. I don't think B and C is on X, but if you want to share something from X, you can post it in the Discord as long as it follows the rules. Yes. No X, though, for me. About Bradish, I don't understand why the StatCast doesn't call his fastball as a cutter. Yeah, it's a little bit of a issue here. Fastball's got true cut, but they call it a fastball. It's kind of a ride cut fastball. So this is a hybrid pitch. If it was called a cutter, it might have a higher stuff number. You know, it's kind of weird with the classifications. Hello from Finland. Yes. Fine. First time watching the show. This is great. Have you done Braxton Ashcraft versus the A's yet? I have not. Did he pitch last night? He could be next. I haven't even thought about who is next. He did pitch last night versus the A's. He's been one of our guys we've been watching this year. 6 innings, 7 Ks. And if you're from Finland, you definitely make me you definitely make me want to watch this. I'm very, very pumped for a Finnish watcher right now. Yeah, there he is, Ashcraft. He's number 10 on the rankings, but he gets a little undersold here because 3 walks maybe pulled down his score. All right, let me backtrack here a little bit. Pirates 12, A's 4. Ashcraft last night, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 1 run earned, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts, 93 pitches, 3.18. He's been so good this year. Very consistent overall. Not a guy a lot of people know about, but we know about him on the show because we've been watching him a lot. So we'll watch him again. This is his season so far. As you see, the under the hood numbers are ridiculously good. Above average in everything except for exit velo and extension, which that's just not his game. 15 starts, 97 innings, and 90 and 2/3. He's pitching deep into games, 1.10 whip. Let's see what the usage was last night for Mr. Ashcraft. 26 curves, 25 four-seamers, 23 sinkers, 18 sliders, and 1 split. 45% whiff on curveball. Another guy with a good curveball. Above average speed on curveball. Speed seems to be such a big variable for miss on curveball. I guess on everything, but definitely on curveball. All right, Pirates A's. You got it. We're in on it. A's and Pirates will watch the result pitches for Ashcraft and fly through this outing here in the second half of the stream. Nick Kurtz, we'll watch the whole at bat as he punches out. Kurtz looking. This is my guy right now, so let's see how he gets out. 98, four-seam up top. Curveball. Backdoor strike. And now another 98-7. Up top, fouled off. And then he's going to punch him out with a sinker looking at 98-7. So he's got unbelievable velocity. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Front door. Front door's open. No need to go through the back door when the front door is open. Yeah. Yep. That was freaking nasty, dude. All right. Next up is Bangalier. Is going to get him out with a slider. Ooh, that was hit well. He stayed on that slider really well. That's the thing that Shea does better than I think any other righty in the league right now is he does not pull off pitches. He drives through them. That right there just threw them. So he gets out here, but want to give him credit for that swing and that through swing. All right, 2 outs, and he's going to get Soderstrom out on a sinker. Good swing, dangerous pitch. You got to love it when you get a hitter out on a dangerous pitch. Line drive sliced at Reynolds. This guy's nasty. AO, are you in Alabama for the East-West Classic? I am indeed. I am indeed very excited. Very excited for this. We have a event coming up here in like an hour and a half-ish. So at some point I'll have to shower and change and take a break. But we've been cooking. We're almost to 2 hours on this. A great front door sinker is probably the most satisfying pitch in the game. Agreed. Some serious seam shift on that. That was filthy. All right, we're up to the second inning here, and it's Jacob Wilson. He's going to get him out with a 93-mile-an-hour slider. Chasing off the plate, D helmets him, rolls it over. When is Connor Griffin back? We need him back in the game. Rolls it over to short, 1 out. 4-pitch walk to Jonah Heim. Okay, so a little uncharacteristic there. 4-pitch walk, and a sinker here to Jellup. Does he get 2 here? Nope. Jams him. Beats him out to right. O'Hearn, 2 outs. And then a strikeout on a curveball to Lawrence Butler. Yep, that's one of those banger curveballs. We've talked about it. 84.6. Big drop on it. Fairly high arm slot. I think he knuckle curves that thing. It's vicious. He's not happy with the inning because of the walk probably, but third inning coming up. Bolte. Oh, jams him really hard with the sinker in. Dart throw to first, 1 out. Now we got, the squirrel. 3-0, so that's the second 4-pitch walk in back-to-back innings. Walks the squirrel. Tough guy to walk. He likes to swing. All right, here is Kurtz. Let's watch the whole thing versus Kurtz again. We'll watch all of Kurtz's pitches because he's so locked in. Slider, backdoor strike, slider.
I feel like it's all-star worthy.
Ooh, dangerous pitch, gets away with it. And then he's going to punch him out with a slider. So slider.
And the pitch from Ashcraft.
Really good one there. 94, tight, late movement. And he punches out the great Nick Kurtz twice.
And the pitch from Ashcraft.
This guy's nasty. And he had to you know what? Even the sinker from before where he starts it in here and it zips back to the corner makes him have to swing at this. You know, he has to honor pitches to start off off the plate a little bit. And sure enough, this is slider in, see you later. That's nasty. All right, third inning. Oh, no. 2 outs. Oh, and a great pitch to Langoliers. Gets in on those hands. 97.5. So if you're going to go out and stay through an outside pitch, you're going to have trouble with the inside pitch running in on you. He sees that, throws it, gets the jam job. Nice pitch. All right, third inning. Curveball to Soderstrom. Fourth inning, excuse me. Curveball to Soderstrom. Chopped to first. Easy play there. 2-2. Jacob Wilson, 99 mile-an-hour fastball down. No panic drill. 2 outs. And, man, almost got a quick inning, but Jonah Heim's going to get on with a single through the shifted side of the infield. So he's been on twice with a walk and a single. And now Geloff, who we got out the first time with a sinker, going to get him again with a sinker. Nice little drop step by the third baseman there. Scoreless through 4. Fifth inning, and he's going to start it off with a curveball strikeout to Butler, just like the first time. So finishes Lawrence both times with curveballs down. And now he's going to finish Bolte with a slider away that he swings over. Another tight slider. So his slider's been anywhere from 88 to 94. Vicious, gross. Curveball's a banger. Fastballs are up to 99. What's not to like? Sinker away, weak tapper by McNeil, and a good play charging that. So scoreless through 5. Sixth inning, and now Nick Kurtz. So this is the third matchup between Ashcraft and Kurtz. 4-seam in, swing and miss. And now sinker. And now he gets the hit. So, I mean, you know, it's going to get you eventually. 108 the other way on the line. Nick Kurtz is special. 1 for 3. Now Langalier's 4-pitch walk. So this is his third 4-pitch walk. Very interesting. But gets himself in deep trouble here to start the inning. This is his third time through now. Granted, he's got a 7-run lead. That's going to make it a lot easier. But first and second, no outs. And a 2-0 count to Soderstrom before he puts this ball in play. Ooh, and they had it, but Triolo drops the ball. They had the double play. But in essence, you can't assume a double play. There's no error there. So second and third, 1 out. And now Wilson's going to get him. Little slider in the zone, punches it through the middle. Should have been 1 run, if we're being fair. It ends up being 2 because of the dropped ball. But good swing by Wilson, stayed through that. So much better this third time through. Kurtz with a good swing, Wilson with a good swing, and then obviously Shea benefited from the walk. So 2 runs come in. Here is Heim. He's going to get a hit as well. So yeah, third time through the order here. Swings have been better. They've also been a little bit more fortunate. I mean, that's not a better swing. But first and second. And now he's going to come for a 3-pitch strikeout of Geloff. Curveball. Oh, top shelf curveball. See you later, nasty. And then another curveball. So turns to the curveball. Went in trouble. Strikes out Lawrence Butler with curveball 3 times in this game. Almost all to the same location. He comes in a little flat over the top, in my opinion, here. Yeah, it's a great pitch to him. And that's it. That's it for the outing. He threw really well. I think you tip your cap a little bit to the A's, but it should have been 1 run. And now he's back on the good side of things, Mr. Ashcraft. So thanks to our friend from Finland who requested us to look at Ashcraft. He's been really good. We've been on him the whole year. I think he should be an all-star. I do. I haven't looked at the ballot yet or the pitching pool yet, but he feels like an all-star to me. I mean, he's creeping towards 100 innings. He's been very effective. I mean, very, very effective so far. All right, let's get back into the chat. Maybe we'll do a little game notes. I have some game notes, some MLB Network game notes. We can look at some of the games tonight on the game notes, do a little messing around that way, see what you guys are interested, if you're interested in that at all. Started watching baseball a year ago, and I'm totally hooked on this sport now. Thank you for doing my request. Of course, got you, Ollie. Appreciate you being in the chat. It's one of the best things about YouTube. Worldwide. Thanks, Spec. Having fun. We're a little bit midday, so we've averaged like 30, 40, 50-ish people in the chat, in the room, but it's great. It's great. Real talk, when did dudes start ripping 90-mile-an-hour sliders? I swear that didn't used to be a thing. Yeah. I mean, man, people figured it out. It's just the hand speed and the arm speed is so, it's just everywhere. It's everywhere in this league. It really is. It's everywhere. All right, you want to do a little game note action? Let's do it. This was today's MLB Network game notes research packet from today. Now, some of the stuff is a little bit dated at this point because some games have already happened. Like, for example, Blue Jays look to complete the sweep, which we find out they did get. Boston's on pace for their worst season since 1965. Who knew it was this bad? I would say Bradish has better breaking balls still than Ashcraft, in my opinion. It's close. They're both really good. I give the nod to Bradish, personally. Thanks for that question, though, Nick. Epic Sports Day in New York. Yankees look to dust the White Sox. The Knicks Championship Parade on Thursday morning expected to draw several million. Plus, there's the U.S. Open golf tournament out in Long Island. Mets and Phillies meet for first time this season tonight. MLB Network Showcase. Matt Vescursion, Tom Verducci on the call. They should give me a call. Aaron Nola will make his 300th career start in that contest. 300 career starts is no joke. That's something to be celebrated for sure. Most career starts in Phillies franchise history. Steve Carlton, 399. Robin Roberts, 472. So 499, 472. Those guys are both Hall of Famers. Chris Short, who I don't know who that is 301. And Nola is about to make 300. He is 5 ahead of Cole Hamels, believe it or not. Grover Alexander also is noted here, 280 in the Hall of Fame. Beer sales up for Red Sox fans. Glass half full. Here are our active hitting streaks. Zach Geloff, 21 games. Alec Burleson, 17. And Nick Kurtz, 10. On base streaks, Brian Reynolds, Jordan, and Geloff all at 24. Did Mike Sirota keep his streak going in the minors? Do we know? Best records in one-run games this season. The Phillies 15-6, White Sox 14-6, Astros 7-4, Pirates 12-7, Cardinals 13-9. That's interesting context there on one-run ball games. Phillies doing well. MLB averages by month, and this is ball is flying and not just in Vegas. March, April, 323 slug. This is a tough chart to follow. At-bats per home run. It was at 31.3, then 31.2, and this month it's at 25.9, and there's another 9.5 runs per game so far in June, up from 8.6 in May and 9.0 in March, April. All right, let's get into some individual games that have not happened yet. That game started. All right, Mets-Phillies, which is should be soon here. All right, here's the matchup. Game 1 tonight, Sean Manaea and Aaron Nola. 74 games in, this is the first meeting between the Mets and the Phillies. Mets have won 7 of 13 versus Phillies last year, including all 6 at Citi. The last times these teams met was September 8th to 11th when the Phillies swept a 4-game set. That series was in the middle of the Mets' collapse. Entering play on April 28th, the Mets and the Phillies had the exact same record, 9-19. But since April 28th, the record of the Phillies is 31-15, which is the second best record in MLB. The Mets are actually 24-22 in that span, but they're still 5.5 games back of the wild card. Bo Bichette went 3 for 4 with an RBI on Wednesday. Is batting .436 with 14 RBIs over his last 13 games. We've noticed he's been looking a lot better. He's recorded multiple hits in 6 straight games, 14 hits total. The only Mets to ever have a longer streak are Steve Henderson and David Wright. So he's hot. He's hot as hell right now. Yes, Sean Manaea is starting tonight. Crazy. This is a pitching rematch from Game 3 of the 2024 NLDS, in which Sean Manaea allowed 1 run in 7 innings and got the win. He was so nasty at that point in time. Manaea set to make his second start of the season. He lost to the Braves on Saturday, despite allowing just 2 runs in 6 innings on 84 pitches. So he's been definitely back in the rotation. Lowest average velocity of his career, 90.3, but he's holding opponents to a 211 batting average on the fastball. I said he doesn't need a ton of velocity to win, Sean Manaea, but it would help. Sirota's on-base streak is currently at 54. Doing it. Nola has recorded an out in the 6th inning in just 4 of his 14 starts this season, and he's been a guy who's been known to going deep into games, and that's what they need from him now. With Painter going just 2 innings on Wednesday, Max, Lazar, and Tanner Banks each pitched 2 straight, and Tim Meza and a Ryan Kirkering could all be down. And remember, Brad Keller went on the IL. So they need some innings out of Nola tonight. This bodes well for the Mets. Trey Turner back in the leadoff spot and got a 3-hit game. Alec Boehm has 15 RBIs in June. And Luke Weaver's 19-inning scoreless streak is the longest active in MLB. I did not know he was on a 19-inning scoreless streak. That is domination. All right, White Sox and Yankees tonight. It's going to be Burke and Weathers. Yankees have won 9 of 13 since Judge got hurt. They've scored 5.8 runs per game. So far, so good there. Cody Bellinger, 6 for 8, 4 RBIs in the first 2 games of this series. He is red hot, killing it at home. Goldschmidt, who I think we're going to look at. Right after I do this one, we'll go take a look at Goldie. Goldie's batting .382, 21 for 55 with 5 home runs and 17 RBIs over his last 13 games. He has an 11 home run in 47 games this season after hitting 10 in 146 last year. All right, so we're going to take a break from this, and we'll go look at the great Paul Goldschmidt. Now, this is the batter that I faced the most in my career. So I have a lot of intimate knowledge of facing this guy. And the biggest thing is he's got a plan, and he is very good at sticking to it. It's how he clipped Varland the other day. He controls the zone pretty well, but it's power to all fields. And for a guy who is now 38 years old, I think he's the only guy 37 or better or older this year. That's a position player, at least, that's having a good season, but he's in tremendous shape. I mean, granted, he's not fast, but he's still sneaky good base runner. He's got above average base running value this year, 59th percentile. But that's not his game. His game at this point is crushing lefties, and then now that he's kind of hot, he's in there again a lot versus the righties, and he goes pole to pole. Looking at the metrics here, in recent years, his walk percentage has gone down, but I think a lot of that's his role and trying to be aggressive, I think, a little bit earlier in counts. Conversely, his K percentage has really improved. So maybe he's swinging a little bit less big. The bat speed indicates that, and he's making more contact and finding ways to spray balls and play a little bit more. Exit velocity is down, but again, he's trying to make more contact, it looks like. Let's look at his bat tracking. Here is Paul Goldschmidt over the last several years. So he's still over 70 miles an hour in bat speed. A little bit down from the previous years. Swing length, about the same. This is what I was curious about. Versus front of the plate, he's a negative guy. Negative 3.7, negative 5.1, negative 4.9, negative. Right now he's about neutral. He wants to use the whole field. That's something that he can do. Yankee Stadium is a great field for a declining Goldie. Right field being short. He had a porch shot the other night. We've seen a lot of right-handed hitters take advantage of that if they are willing and able, and he's taking advantage of that right now. Attack angle, he's a little bit more up in the zone, but yep, committed to that opposite field attack direction. So again, I think this was a great fit ultimately. He means a lot in that clubhouse too. A lot of the guys look up to him. But yeah, man, Goldie's been really strong. Let's watch some of his home runs. We'll go from pull side all the way to the extreme oppo side. These are all 11 of Goldie's home runs this year, which is actually a ton of home runs considering his plate appearances. Here's one from the other night, a 1-2 four-seam from Davis Martin, and he just uppercuts that one straight down the line for a shot right there. Here's number 2.
Red-hot Paul Goldschmidt leads off the game. Swings in the
Hold
first
on, I got to back that up. We have a funny super chat here. I'm going to have to answer in a minute. Yep, another fastball that he gets the head out on pull side. So, I mean, his general approach is oppo, but he's also picking his spots to beat you to the spot when he thinks the fastball is coming in. So that's a sign to me of a prepared player. He's got a relatively long swing, bat speed in somewhat of decline, but he knows his moments. Here's the home run of Varland. Curveball in the middle, and he executes the swing. You know, I mean, Varland is unhittable this year. Gave him one pitch to hit, and he didn't miss it. So that's what I'm talking about. Being prepared, understanding what you're trying to get, and dropping head on that. That's what he does right here versus Louis V. So that's our third home run of the day from Goldie. Here is number 4. Remember, we're going from left field all the way to right field. This is off of Williams. Another bad cutter. Destroys that to left. A lot of these with 2 strikes, too. Here's the next.
Put him in motion 3-2.
Cantillo.
Goldschmidt will put it in play.
Fastball in, get off of me to left. Beating a lot of fastballs to the spot, which you would not think looking at those metrics. And here is Sevy.
1-2.
Sweeper, inner third, kaboom to left. We actually watched this. This was a great swing, pulling his hands in. We watched that on the stream. Now we get a little bit more in the gap. This might be his biggest shot of the year off of Kyle Harrison. Man, nobody's been getting on top of Kyle Harrison's heater, but Goldie is. Tremendously prepared, almost takes it over the bullpen. That's a big boy poke. Here's another one in the gap. This is off of George Kirby. Man, he's getting some good pitches to hit, but man, how many he's destroying these fastballs. That's a bomb to left center. Now we're going to move to right center. This is off Patrick Corbin. Actually, me and Todd Frazier predicted this one on the Yankees pregame a couple weeks back. Oppo shot into the short porch off of his former teammate, Patrick Corbin. 2 more to go. Another one to right. This is him taking advantage of that short porch right here. All 3 of these. I mean, come on. Little lazy line drive to right homer. That's a thing of beauty right there. That's the LeMahieu spot. And then this one from last night off of Davis. He just connects, flips it right down the line, short porch, home run. So he's gone literally from the right field foul pole all the way to the left field foul pole on the year. And, man, what a privilege it has been for the Yankees. 928 OPS, signed for $4 million. All right, here we go. We got Beastly Champ. I'm a little drunk. Yankees World Series winners 2026, Game 6. They'll give you a ring, and Tanaka, you deserve it. Love you so much. I don't know if they'll give me a ring. I'd love to sneak my way onto a float if they were to win it. Obviously, I'd like to win it as managers of the Yankees someday. That would be legit. That would be my real dream. But I appreciate it. I hope you had a good time at the parade. It seems like you had a good time at the parade, Beastly Champ. Really appreciate the super chat. You got another one in here. Why you break my heart and leave NYY like my ex-wife? Sorry, man, about your ex-wife, but I didn't leave. The Yankees traded my ass to Boston. They decided I was too expensive and they wanted to get under the luxury tax, and then they didn't love me from 2020 when I got crushed by the Blue Jays, so they sent me to Boston, which, you know, a little bit broke my heart, but it was all good. It was all part of the journey. So I didn't mean to break your heart. Sorry for that. But thank you for the chats. You're fantastic today. This feels a bit like classic older power hitter cheating on fastballs. Yep, and that's what I'm saying. I think like if you can't naturally see the ball, hit the ball, and deliver the way that you normally do, yeah, I mean you pick your spots to cheat to some pitches. It's a timing game. Goldie seems to pick his spots better than most, and then he executes, right? I mean, a lot of those were fastballs that he got the head out on. No way around that. Great job there by Goldie doing that. Hitting the ball where it's pitched is the clearest sign of a pure hitter. Totally agree, and also shows you what strength can do. I mean, if you're weak and you got to pull everything for extra bases, that's going to not play into you using the whole field as well, unless you're just willing to take singles all day, which I think the incentives of the game screw up for some guys. You know what I'm saying? Like and subscribe. Join the Discord. Yes, join the Discord. Throw me some likes. This has been an epic stream so far. 2 hours and 10 minutes in. I could probably go for a little bit longer here before I take a break. And then I don't know about tomorrow. It might be a very late night stream if anybody's interested in that. We'll see. Tomorrow I got a lot of stuff on the agenda here with Major League Baseball. So we'll see. That's it about the talk about Goldie. He's been awesome. He's been on a particularly hot tear of late. 1,000 OPS in June, had almost a 900 OPS in May. So, guy's awesome. Right in the nick of time with Judge out. Here are his hits in the last since the 7th. 2-1, 2-2, 1-1, 3-2-2. That'll play. When you calling Cam Schlittler on the show, yeah, pretty soon we're gonna have to get his skinny Northeastern butt on the show. Pretty bad. We're going to have to get him on here soon. We will. We're going to work on having a lot more fun guests shit, I might talk to some of these legends tomorrow live from Rickwood. There's a possibility that the stream happens live tomorrow for some length of time from Rickwood. I'll bring my laptop and everything, so we'll see. Stay tuned on that information. North Carolina Tar Heels against the Oklahoma Sooners. Are we up to the? I think we're up to the main event, right? And in the NCAA, we're up to the final two, and then there were two. Well, Carolina's been the better. Yeah, they're in the final. They've been the better team. They have been the better team all year. Like, they're the ranked team, number 5th overall national seed. But Oklahoma has played very good so far in this tournament, coached by Reggie Willits, former coach of mine with the Yankees. Obviously, we know about his Eli, who was the first pick of the draft by the Nats, but also his brother, older brother, I believe, is on the team at Oklahoma. So it has to be older. So some Willits in there. And what are my thoughts on that? I'd be lying to you if I have a lot of predictive ability for this series. It's not like I've watched him a lot. We're going to get another Jason DeCaro start, which I'm excited about. He's looked good for Carolina quite a bit, but curious for this one to end. And then I'm going to meet a lot of these guys. I'm doing one day at the draft combine, which I'll do a live stream from there next Tuesday. That's going to be on Tuesday from the draft combine. I'm only going to do one day there. Then I got to fly home because my kids are going to camp and I got to send them off properly and have some other work to do. But that'll be fun. Draft combine, meet some prospects, talk to them on the stream, try to get as many as I can. And then eventually we'll start to get our draft list going. And then there's a lot of things we have to do pretty soon. All-star balloting, draft list. We'll talk to prospects, more guests, Fanatics Fest. We got some things coming. So I don't really know. It's a tough one. Was the Yankees clubhouse live up to the hype like I've heard? Yeah, for sure. I mean, Yankees are top tier. Everything you hear about the Yankees is top tier. Yankees have a crazy deep lineup this year. Hope they can right the wrong from 2024 over this horrible AL. They have every opportunity to stroll right into, in my opinion, into at least the CS. And then from there, you're 8 wins away from the title. You're going to have to beat another good American League team. If there is another one, maybe the Mariners, who we'll see. And then, whoever's coming out of the NL is going to be super good. And you're going to have to go toe-to-toe with them and execute. But I do like the Yankees starting pitching. For me, that's the biggest thing. The lineup, I like it, but I think they could use one more. One more. They could use one more. All right. Let me take a bathroom break, and I'm going to circle back. Bathroom break. Be right back. I just had to go quick. All right, I'm probably going to do another 15 minutes. That gives me an hour before the event to get ready, shower, and just take a chill pill for a little bit, listen to some music, whatever. Maybe handle some emails, make some shorts, something. Dueling pianos again. How come? Is something up with my loading screen? I don't know. I'll take a look. I don't know what's going on with that. Hitters say you got to hit your head on the dugout in Detroit because that's where Ty Cobb hit his head. Is there a similar old bullpen that pitchers think is cool? That's so weird. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because I have the music going on my TikTok feed as well. I'm not, honestly not totally sure. Got 3,640 viewers today on TikTok so far. If you're on TikTok, don't be afraid to throw me some subs over on YouTube, if you wouldn't mind. That would be nice. I would appreciate that very much. All right, let me come back over here. Otto, when you were with Colorado, did you ever get the chance to hit? Sure did. Got 2 major league hits, both with the Rockies, one right-handed, one left-handed. We've watched them on the stream before. I got a hit off of Kyle Loesch on a changeup, and I got a hit off Zach Duke on a fastball. He was on the Reds at the time. Other than that, I did pretty damn bad. Pretty damn bad. All right, let's I forgot about the mic not being on the mic stand. Sorry. Is there a Bazzana home run? All right. Let's see what we got here from today. Cleveland won 4-2 over Milwaukee. Box score from that one. Parker Messick, 6 innings, 2 runs, 9 strikeouts. I think for the win. Drohan pitched 5 in an inning. Kunal and Grant Anderson gave up runs. Travis Bazzana 1 for 3 with a big fly. All right. Let's watch it. Brewers and Guardians. Bazzana. I don't know. All right. Anderson, big home run in this one. This is the go-ahead shot. Good matchup for Bazzana for sure. Sidearm sweeper ball 1 and fastball home run. It's just middle, right in the wheelhouse. Perfect timing. Drive into the second deck. You know, just put it on a tee for him. And Bazzana smashed that ball. 106.2 at 25. That's kind of a perfect. What can I say about that? It's a perfect for the Australian who, you know what, we're going to have some beef pretty soon because U.S. is playing Australia, I think, tomorrow. It's funny, I just got invited to a watch party from one of my friends, and I have to tell him I'm not here tomorrow. But, damn, that ball was smoked. This is a beautiful swing by Bazzana. I mean, it's just perfectly into the bat path. No adjustment needed here. Looks back and says, let's go. All right, so there's Bazzana. Let's check out his metrics so far for the Aussie. He's been very good, extremely good at controlling the zone. All right, so he's at 772 OPS, 250, 353, 419. He's an on-base guy. When he ticks up closer to 300, like 280, he's going to be elite. When he's down at 250, I mean, he doesn't have enough power to maybe be elite, but the on-base will make him at least playable for sure for a long time. Chase rate, 85th percentile. That'll do. 44th percentile whiff, 19.2% K percentage, so it's 62nd percentile. And then we mentioned he gets his walks. He's pretty fast. So far in defense, he's been a negative somehow. I mean, obviously, he's a bit more of a short to the ball, not a huge amount of bat speed type of hitter. But I think he could be good at hitting the ball in the air to pull side. I do. So I think he'll hit some home runs, and it'll be interesting to see him evolve over the remainder of this year and beyond. Yeah, a little bit below average on the bat speed. He's 3 degrees pull, very league average tilt and attack angle. So very typical swing plane. And he does want to catch the ball out front, so that makes sense a little bit. So this is interesting. His bat timing, he's a little bit on average late on fastballs and early on the off-speed pitches, so he's not perfect on anything there. Tends to be slightly under the fastballs, perfectly lined up on the, what are the breaking balls, and then he tends to be over the changeups. That's drastic enough where you would think you would see a lot of changeup splits. I don't know. It's always fun to look at stuff like that. Antonacci over Bazzana, in my humble opinion. Honestly, I think that's going to be a pretty good showdown. I mean, both similar players, right? Strike zone judgment, get on base type of guys. I mean, Antonacci's playing more than one position. I don't know. That's a good one. That's going to be interesting. Got to be honest, I don't think he should pull. The Savant page is not as good as I expected, not going to lie. No, yeah. It doesn't believe in him from an exit velocity standpoint, I don't think. He tried that when he first started pro ball and it caused an oblique injury. Okay, but that, you gotta that didn't cause the oblique injury, I don't think, Spec. I think it's more like figure out how to armor that core up, get it prepared to rotate. You got to rotate. Otto, how much for a signed ball? I don't know. I actually owe a signed ball to Cobra, who hasn't been on the stream in a while. I still owe him one. Way out. I have to send him one. So I need to get a box of balls, and then we can go from there. But I'm not in the business of charging a lot of money for anything. It's just whatever the shipping cost is, perhaps. If you're in the Discord and you're a member of the grounds crew, you can get taken care of. Sam isn't a second baseman anymore, though. Bro is an outfielder now. I mean, he plays a little bit of everywhere, but he's blocked, obviously, with the White Sox in the middle infield. Need it before my Cooperstown introduction. Well, then you have the rest of eternity, because that'll never happen. So that's pretty funny. All right. So we already kind of went over some of the games tonight. There's also two more to go over. Cardinals and Angels games. So let me pull out that file one more time. Let's see if there's anything of note that you guys might want to know about those late games tonight. We already talked about the Mets and the Yankees games versus the White Sox. All right, Giants and Braves, third game of a three-game set. Landon Roop, Martin Perez, who has been a sneaky 5-3, 2.9. Braves look to avoid losing 4 straight games for the first time in 2026. Well, the Giants look to win 4 straight for the first time this season. Atlanta has dropped 6 of his past 7. Starters are 1-5 with an 8-4. That's what we've been talking about. That's the biggest factor in the National League East is the Braves starters. Martin Perez pitched the Braves to their most recent victory, beat the Mets last Saturday. 35-year-old Martin Perez has been critical for the Braves. 2.90 ERA is 14th in the NL. I mean, wow. 1.76 ERA his last 3 starts versus the Giants. Giants have hit 6 homers so far in the series, dating back to May 15th. Only the A's have hit more home runs than the Giants. That's good to see. Giants have built their team around power despite their ballpark. They have a lot of guys who have actual power. Willy Adames has homered in each of the past 2 games. 10 of his 13 have come in the last month. Tied with PCA, Hunter Goodman, and Nick Kurtz for the most in that span. Luis Arraez hit his 3rd home run of the season. He's batting .358 with a .561 slugging and 23 runs in a 30-game span. That's wild. Arraez has a .561 slugging in a 30-game span. Eldridge, 22-game on-base streak. So there's some good things happening for the Giants. It's a shame. They don't have enough pitching. But there's some good things happening offensively right now. Eldridge, 22-game on-base streak. He's hitting over 400 during the 22 games. That plays. Giants have lost each of Landon Roop's last 8 starts, so he's cratered. Roop was at the center of the controversy last Friday on Pride Night. I'm not going to get into that. Roop, who grew up a Braves fan in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, has won each of his 2 career starts versus Braves. Southern boy facing the Braves. We'll see if God's on his side tonight. Already beset by injuries, Michael Harris II could miss his 2nd straight game on Thursday. Okay. Lower back tightness. Mauricio Dubon homered while manning center in Harris's absence. He's hitting .304 with 4 home runs his last 12 games. All right. So that's it for that one. That's a little bit interesting. Cardinals Royals tonight at Kauffman. Got a nice FaceTime from my buddy John Jay earlier. He's like, bring me on the show. I'm like, fuck yeah, we'll bring you on the show at some point. Why not? Matthew Liberatore and Noah Cameron, who I thought was cooked, but has pitched pretty good his last couple starts. I-70 Showdown Series. Kansas City has fallen short of expectations, and St. Louis has gone above expectations. Here are our Fangraphs' playoff odds since opening day. Biggest risers: Milwaukee plus 55%, Tampa Bay 54%, Cleveland 45%, St. Louis 41%, and White Sox 27%. Biggest fallers: Mets 62%, Red Sox 49%, Tigers 43%, Kansas City 40%, San Francisco 31%. Perhaps this is a good metric to test most surprising and disappointing teams. Then again, I don't like projections that much. This series features 2 of MLB's top 10 position players in WAR. Bobby Witt, who's third with 4.2, and Jordan Walker 3.4 in ninth. Paging Dr. Crutch. Yes, John Jay is cool as F. He's the best. We'll bring him on. We'll talk everything. That's my homie, my day one ride or die homie from minor leagues, and one of my best friends. He's the best. Him and Descalzo killing it on that staff, on Ollie's staff. All right. Alec Burleson, 310, has a 17-game hitting streak during that stretch. We talked about that before. Despite Matthew Liberatore's staff worst 4.71 ERA, Cardinals are still 10-4 when he pitches, so they don't care about that. He's shown reverse splits this year. And Kansas City's 3-10 and Noah Cameron starts. So he had been rolling, like I mentioned. 34 innings. There was a 34-inning stretch. He had a 2.38. He did give up 4 his last start, though. Curveball, to me, is his most effective pitch. They're hitting a 111 against that. Carter Jensen's hitting 361 with 7 extra base hits and 9 RBIs during his 9-game streak. This is a good final question here. Cardinals number 3 prospect Joshua Baez hit the 4 home runs on Tuesday. Now leads the IL with 23 nukes. Is a call up on the horizon, and can St. Louis find him consistent at bats? That's a good question, something to experiment and look at for a second. So what position is Joshua Baez is the question. And then we'll look at whether they can fit him in or not. St. Louis Cardinals, Joshua Baez is an outfielder. Probably more of a corner outfielder. He's a 50 fielder, though. What does it say about his fielding on here? Could end up in either corner depending on St. Louis's roster needs. Okay, so where are the Cardinals currently with their outfield alignment? You got Walker out there. You probably have Nootbaar out there right now. Center field seems like it's more available. That's not really this guy's position. Who am I forgetting? I am forgetting Nathan Church right now is playing center, and Victor Scott's down in the minors. So, okay. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty blocked by Nootbaar and Walker, but they're going to find a way to get him at bats. I know Ivan Herrera bats in the 2-hole and DHs a lot. It wouldn't surprise me if he got called up. He'd be a fun, 23 home runs in the IL is no joke. That's pretty damn good. So I'd be intrigued by that. That's a good question. Good question to answer. Baez is a bit of a risk right now. What's the risk? 50 likes might be the first time we've had more likes than viewers. That's because some viewers have been coming and going today, I think. I mean, overall, I have 560 views so far. His quality of contact metrics are like really bad. Ooh, let's go look at. We haven't done this in a while. Prospect Savant browsing. This is Joshua Baez. All right, Prospect Savant. Let's take a look. All right, so I see what you're saying. He has a lot of the same issues as, a lot of the guys we tend to talk about on this show. The Spencer Joneses, the Murakamis of the world. Guys who have big-time exit velocity and everything, like this guy does, clearly, but struggles with contact. Not enough walks considering the home run rate, which is probably because of that chase rate. All those numbers tend to go up in the minors. So I see what you're saying here. The K, the walk, the chase, and the whiff, all below average. Zone contact and swinging strikes are pretty bad. Almost 18% swinging strike rate. It's not good. That being said, he's doing damage. So at some point he's gonna get a chance, no matter what. Huge whiff on slider and sweeper, so you see a lot of spin when he gets up to the show. Even a pretty healthy amount of whiff on really every pitch type. Even above average on sinker, I would say. MLB comps 2023 JD Martinez. I don't know. That'll be interesting. All right, let's get back in the chat, and then I'm going to wrap this up with probables. The quality's making up for it, but any slippage could crash the whole thing. Rickwood Field, located in Birmingham, Alabama, is America's oldest existing professional stadium. This legendary ballpark is older than Fenway and Wrigley. Yep, can't wait to be in it tomorrow, participate in this event, take some pictures, and have a good time. Aya, what made you pick Northeastern Huskies for college? So I was recruited mostly by the local school, St. John's, Fordham. I had a desire to get out. Also, there was some dropping of the ball by some of these recruiters. UConn was a place I was interested in, but they told me I needed a red shirt, so I knew I needed to continue my development and pitch as a freshman. So that was a no. St. John's, I felt like Blankmeyer, who was the coach at the time, I felt like he was a bit abrasive, to say the least, during the recruiting. So that was out. Plus, Northeastern's a better school. Fordham, I felt like I didn't have a good official visit there. Notre Dame, I really wanted to go to, but I don't think I could get admitted. I think was the issue with my GPA. Good SATs, but poor GPA from being a slacker. And then the Southern schools weren't really on me. So Northeastern was an opportunity to get a healthy amount of scholarship money and pitch as a freshman, which to me was the most important thing, and proximity to the Cape and all that sort of stuff. So ended up being one of the best decisions I ever made. Thanks for that question, though. All right. It's been a fun stream. 2 hours and 30 minutes of baseball talk today. Watch some good pitchers. I will put the chapters up right around this. And that's it. So scoreboards, we already had some games end today. Toronto beat Boston. Cleveland beat Milwaukee. Minnesota beat Texas. San Francisco and Atlanta got rained out. Baltimore and Seattle. Seattle's winning 3-0 in that game in the 8th. So whoever pitched for the Mariners today is doing a great job. Who is that? That is Brian Wu. He's shoving, so he might get watched tomorrow. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts in this game. Boz did nice for himself as well. But that being said, we already looked at it. Mets, Phillies, White Sox, Yankees, Cardinals, Royals, Angels, A's remaining tonight. Here are our probables for those games to finish out the night. Manaya Nola, Hudson Weathers, Libertor Cameron, TBA Gage Jump, who we've watched quite a bit, Roop and Perez. And then can we get probables for tomorrow already? Yeah, this is what we got tomorrow, Friday. Gosman, TBA for the Cubs, Fetty Skubal, White Sox Tigers, Reds Yankees, Lauder Schlittler, Nationals Rays Cavalli Jacks. Giants, Marlins, that's going to be Roop and TBA because that's rained out. Brewers, Braves, Mizorowski, our friend now, and Martin Perez. So he's going to try to incinerate the Braves tomorrow. Padres, Rangers, Vasquez, DeGrom, Guardians, Astros, Bybee, Imai, Cardinals, Royals, McGreevy, Lugo. Wow, Lugo bounced back quick from the ball off the head. Pirates, Rockies, Chandler, Freeland. TBA, Jeffrey Springs, Angels, A's, and Twins, Diamondbacks, Prelip, Soroka. And our final game, no, not final game, Orioles, Dodgers, Trey Gibson, Roki Sasaki. Roki looking to bounce back after his last one. And Red Sox, Mariners, Ranger Suarez, and absolutely on fire Bryce Miller for the Mariners. So Red Sox it's pretty bad for them right now. Pretty bad for them. All right, that's going to be it. Let me see what we got here in the chat before I go. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for being with me all day today. Day or night stream tomorrow, possibly both. Don't know yet because I'd like to do a stream from Rickwood and have some people come on the show, some people that are around and chat with them with the live chat going. So I'm going to try to shoot for that during the midday, but it might be a super late night stream on the back end of after the dinner and everything tomorrow night. So if that's the case, I'll let you know. Just stay tuned. But thanks for everybody who hung in there with me today on a afternoon baseball and coffee. So see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. Have a great night, everybody, I should say. Hasta. Bye-bye.